Alrighty. Now, I meant to start at the normal, well, I guess not normal time yet, but preset time where I've been streaming at lately. But this is where it's been at now. So, as is, this will be where we begin because I wanted to start at the set time I have. Started a half hour later because I really wanted to reread the Jujutsu Kaisen chapter and do my review before I started up the stream. So let me just get things going. I will begin the chat with everyone, see how everyone's doing, and we can talk about all the different craziness that happened. A 2-week wait, but now we're back to everything. We had a pretty heavy lore and world expanding chapter with Black Clover. My Hero Academia had a really good kind of finish up on its whole little villain arc. Jujutsu Kaisen just had beautiful action choreography and panel layout. Chainsaw Man introduced all these new faces. Still awesome. We did get Eden Zero this week, so we still gotta look forward to that over the next what's today? Sunday? We'll probably get it Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday, new Fairy Tail chapter, which I'm pretty stoked about. Super hyped for that. I can't say I'm excited for Seven Deadly Sins, but that is coming up as well. I am pretty amped up to see where things are going with everything right now. We've just been getting treated so well to the consistency of these chapters lately. I've been loving that. The consistency is definitely the thing that I've been so over the top about. Given we haven't had anything that kind of just felt stale. Any slower chapters like the Black Clover chapter. Not obviously a lot went on, but it was we got a lot of intense world building. We got to find out about the Curse of Weg. We got to find out the information on the other three kingdoms. We got to actually see the diamond or the Spade and the Heart Kingdom a little bit, and we got this. We got information on their the Clover Kingdom's more political people. What was it? They said Magical Congress in the fan translation. I'm trying to remember what the Viz translation of it was. I'm just checking really quick, and I gotta tweet out the stream. So, get as many people in coming to hang out and ask some questions as we can, and then I will get to, the comment questions of the actual chat and see what people got going on this week, what they want to put out. What was it? What did they call it? Oh my god, I'm trying to figure out exactly. The Magical Parliament, which is still pretty cool. Sounds fancy enough. Let me just really quick go out and just tweet about the stream and see who wants to come hang out that may already follow me, or jump in the hashtags as they are and get to it. All right, let's see. Let me look at some of the comments. Yeah, I'm doing Jared Punch. I'm doing pretty good. It's good you're caught up with My Hero Academia. I wasn't a huge fan of the Class 1A versus Class 1B arc because the first 2 rounds I thought were good, but then the last 3 I didn't really care for. The current arc is pretty good. Looks like they're just getting out of there, so we're gonna get back to everyone that's Deku and that whole crew, and seeing how exactly the villains are going to change the layout of the story, because now Tamura has all these big villain characters, all this money now at his back, and he doesn't seem like he's gonna be sitting on that too much. He seems to be going pretty heavy. He's not gonna be fucking around. That level of money and resources is really gonna be what just makes him so much more of a danger. But also his quirk is just so much more OP now. Now he's not only it's got extra range. It doesn't take. It looks more like the fingers, just more fingers touching, just makes the decaying process faster. And he decayed an attack mid-go, the force from Redestro's hit. So he's gonna be, he's got that perfect counter to Deku's all for one, or one for all. I get those somehow jumbled all the time. Yeah, I hope you have fun at school though. The new concept in Black Clover went from vague to vague, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm curious to know what the origin of that is, or if Tabata just made up some letters. There's probably some basing out of it. To do yard work and such, so another stream I will miss part of. You could put it up on your phone and listen to it, I guess. Just put it up there and listen to the stream as it goes. Hear my voice talk about whatever going on. What's up, Joshua Light? What's up, Elric? How's it going? Place your bets on how long the stream will take. I'm hoping not to get caught behind. Hopefully, as a proud All Might would say, I am here. Looks good. Glad you're here. Rex, which IP do you think is currently better, Gundam or Star Wars? Star Wars is... I don't like Star Wars anymore, but I was never a Gundam fan, but, I don't think Gundam's had anything as bad as The Last Jedi, so I don't think so on that. Chapter, yeah, My Hero Academia chapter's pretty good. I liked it. I wonder what Tabata is doing to use black magic differently than Fairy Tail. Well, his is more like, his is like forbidden because probably it has like a seemingly effect on the body. It's not made for mortals, I'm guessing. Forbidden magic in Black Clover and in Fairy Tail seems just much more of like the level of danger and severity, because that was the whole thing about lost magic. It was too dangerous for people to have in general. It doesn't seem to be as different. And the obvious taboo was much heavier, like when we saw Azuma broke the taboos on his magic, and afterwards he just straight died and turned into nature. It's about our world building. It's late. I'm super happy about it. I've been super happy about the world building. Like, that alone made me very pleased. Because obviously, like I said, we didn't get a lot, we just came out of a super heavy action arc, and now we're getting all this world building, which I'm super happy. And I wanted to, for a while, to see the other kingdoms. Like, the fact that the Spade is like this apparent demonic using kingdom, and they're just in this Arctic land, is going to be probably really creepy. We're probably going to get to see some monsters. The fact that the Heart Kingdom apparently has their own unique style of magic is very intriguing. I want to know how that works. Maybe it's something like, you know, much more like body augmenting magic. I don't know what it's going to possibly be like, because it's obviously going to have a stem into all theirs. Maybe like druid magic or something. Maybe there's just like going to be like, because it's all nature, like they all have like an animal familiar, and their magic is all around like buffing their familiar. That'd be pretty cool. Poor Asta. Young Bruce Wayne is coming for you. Actually, what's funny is, because they're from the house Kira, he looks like Kira from JoJo. Like, I noticed that, and then people started talking about it, and I showed him my friends who's like a JoJo guy, and he was laughing because he thought that was amazing. Because obviously the house Kira has been in Black Clover for a while, but it's like, well, I want to introduce a guy that's not Augustus into it. What do I do? Okay, there's a famous character from JoJo named Kira. Let's just make him look similar to him, which is great. Like, obviously, you know, we're going to have a lot of people having fun with that. It doesn't... From what I know about JoJo, though, their powers aren't the same. They don't have similar personalities. I think it's just that appearance, and obviously Kira in the name. But that's probably much more of what Tabata's going for, not much of a straight, just like one-to-one pullover. Nozzle's an elf. I mean, I don't know, he's BOP. I mean, you put anybody as an elf in Black Clover there. It's just like, yeah, you have a buffed up version of magic. It's like, okay. What's good? How's it going, Crimson Elite? How you be? It's good to know that the Spade Kingdom is considered the Demon Kingdom. Yeah, I'm curious to know. Like, is it like one of the demons escaped at some point and it lives there? Or is it like speaking more of like, I don't know, like demon, but not really a demon? Like when someone's like really scary and you see a lot of anime, someone will call him a demon. I don't know. I'm hoping for an actual demon. I want to see an actual demon that we've got, because even though we just had the word devil, we need more demons in the world, because they're obviously going to have a huge tie-in. They directly relate to, the name of the series, Black Clover. So that's going to have like some obviously lasting effects. After this chapter, things will change up Major Macadamia. Oh yeah, this is going to lead up to All Might's death for sure. Deku is going to see All Might die. I'm calling it. Do you know what episode of Black Clover are going to have good animation again? Probably... I'd say probably the closest one you can just guess is when Mereona's fight begins again. The animation with Yami and Carla was okay. I mean, I wanted it to be good because I really like that scene when she lunges at him with her sword, and then you have all the like thorn spines come out of it. Just because I always loved that idea of you pretty much have like a sword that doubles as a multi-directional lance. I just thought that was a really cool concept. That didn't need to be well animated. It's not an important part. Like, their little scuffle isn't like a big part in the arc. Any of the things I think are very kind of stapled in Mereona's fight when she uses Purgatory. That's going to be a big. I feel like that's got to be a big one. Like, they've been going ham on Mereona in this whole arc. Austin and when they had that little scuffle against Licht and whatnot, probably. Probably the fight with Lufalu. I think it's going to be much more of those, again, important actual things. Like, when we get to, like, Finral's part for sure. I'll be personally mad if they don't animate Finral's battle with Ratri when he goes to save Langris. If that is not, at least that couple seconds, like that handful when he gets in there and goes and, knocks down Ratri, I'm going to be upset. Finral's one of my favorite characters, and that was such a good moment for him because Finral's been just on an absolute like uphill like as a character since the Water Temple, and that was obviously really big for him. Not giving up on his brother was really nice, even though his brother tried to literally kill him. I think villains have power of friendship. Power of friendship is the best. I like how we had a kind of war arc for the villains in To the Heroes. It was just a day. Yeah, it wasn't even a day because what was the time limit? Because they got there and they said that Gigantomachia had like 2 hours and some change before he woke up. So it was literally only 2 hours real time. You could watch a movie. Imagine you just sat down and you watched a movie, and then this was all going on during that time period. I always loved like thinking about that. It's like Attack on Titan. Just imagine all this stuff going around, and you're just some guy in some random island, and you're just like fishing and like I don't know, eating a coconut, and all this like Titan craziness happens. Or like throw a rock at a series where it's all like more compact. I can't really say with Tokyo Ghoul because like I guess the Ghoul should be worldwide, but we didn't get a whole lot of that. But that's always the thing I always really like just to think about. It's like, what is everyone else doing with this? Like, what is everyone else doing? Like, I even look at, like, Fairy Tail, when Acton Logia is literally getting ready to end the world. You could just be some dude, like, hanging out and, like, I don't know, cooking up dinner. It's like, oh, god damn it, I forgot some ingredients for my soup. That's pretty much what happened in the My Hero Academia. Like, Deku was probably, like, watching YouTube videos while this was all happening. He's just like, man, this is a good day. I'm gonna, got all these nice HD uploads of old All Might fights, and then meanwhile, Shigaraki is killing people, like, in mass at this city. That was the scale of the pain arc. I don't know about that. The pain arc, in destruction, I don't know. But, like, it was a pretty, like, hefty attack. Like, he definitely cleared out probably, like, a good couple 100 feet of area, but Pain straight, like, pulled a city out of the ground and then compacted it together in a rock orb. I don't know about that, man. Plus, like, the Pain arc was vicious, and it was just a one-man, like, onslaught. And I still think that part where Naruto shows up is still one of the coolest parts in all of Naruto, of just him arriving to fight Pain. Because I think that was such a good turnaround point, because that was when you had this character who, throughout the series, we use the main character to do all his sayings, but, like, he was still at the same time viewed like as this reject by all the people in the Leaf Village, and that was the moment when all of them were like at this like all is lost moment, and then the person that shows up to save them is Naruto, which I think that was, in my opinion, I think that was his coolest moment, like for sure, and I think that's one of the best moments in the whole series, because that was like, you gotta keep in mind, like imagine being with his people, and then like you're like, we're all gonna die, the Leaf Village is over, and then you just see one person arrive, that being the guy that your whole village has been shunning for the last like pretty much Naruto's whole life, and then he's the one that saves everyone's ass. And I think there's a part in one of the movies where it shows one of the guys that was mean to Naruto as a kid, and then like years later he asks him for his autograph. That's pretty much like what I always wanted, because it's such a cool part when you have all these characters, and they're pretty much just acknowledge them, because that's the one that always bothers you. It's not like they did something bad. It's like, you have no idea what this character's gone through for your ass, and they don't want any. They don't need any acceptance or appreciation. They're just doing it to do it, and it was such a great event to see. That's what I actually really liked about Boruto, when the fight with Momoshiki, because he realized like, man, I've been a shitty person. Like that's when you realize like how much like his dad like went through everything for him, because he talked about like what he had to go through to get his chakra that like heavy and just like intense, and he started to really like contemplate like pretty much everything that the Leaf Village went through to have this easy life that Boruto and crew are up now, where they're playing like video games and having trading cards, and at the age Naruto is like fighting in the forest of death and stuff. But yeah, Shigaraku's always this good. Shigaraki's quirk, I don't know, it wasn't always this good. Oh no, because he just straight dusted. First off, the AoE increased massively. Second off, what was it? He dusted people that were touching other people. He didn't make direct contact with them. He straight like decayed guys that were in contact. Like he had a loop together. Like you're holding hands with one guy, it's gonna dust over to you like just a straight chain reaction. I guess it would be chain reaction. I guess more of a domino effect, really, which was really cool. My only thing that I've like. It's really cool that he's been doing that, but, like, my complaints towards it is only the idea, it's like, Deku, he has such a one-shot power, and it's the same thing I thought with Overhaul, that Deku is just could, like, potentially kill him so easy, or Deku could get killed so easy. That's what I liked about the gentle fight more, is he could take more attacks, and it's not like, oh, you take that, you're gonna die. And no, it's like, yo, you're gonna be beaten the hell up, but you can keep going. Whereas Overhaul and Tamora, it's like, you get hit by this, you're done, it's over. Like, what was it? Destro had to cut off both his legs because it touched him. He had one of those moments. Kind of like when Soifon had to do that when the fight with Baragon. He's got a new OP quirk. Well, he's got multiple on the way. He's probably going to get something to deal with that. I don't know. Maybe he can pull other people's quirks in his body. I think that's what his thing should have been. Instead of, like, you have 7 quirks, it should have been, you have the power to pretty much, like, implement a other person's quirk into your body for a short period of time. Because, obviously, that was given artificially, you know, transferred. I think it would have been cooler. Because then, like, what could have been his thing? Like, maybe he could have, like, absorb another person's power and then use that to fight a character to have more of a strategic side and not just super strength. Obviously, he's going to have, like, a plethora of abilities to use, but I don't know. That's just my opinion, because otherwise it feels like now it could be, like, one of the issues I had a little bit with Rave Master, though, how much I liked it, it's like you can pull out, like, a power that's super convenient, which I worry about, but at the same time, you know, whatever. What's up, Steampunk? How it be? How are you guys today? How you missed the opportunity to pull my finger joke? Fart jokes. I thought Endeavor was a bad person. Endeavor is pretty bad, but obviously, well, Endeavor was like a shitty guy, but like he wasn't a, you know, mass killer like all these other guys are. But because they're straight millage. Endeavor and Nozzle changed out. Well, Nozzle, okay, or Nozel. The thing about Nozel, if you go back and look, his thing wasn't he's a jerk. His thing was he didn't like people that he didn't think can pull their weight. He was mean to Asta. He saw Asta could pull his weight. He respected him. He was mean to Noelle. He saw Noelle could use her magic and could pull her weight. She became nice to her. During the whole part of that, the Eye and the Midnight Sun invading the capital, when Nebra and Solid were, like, shit-talking that Fuego Leon losing, Nozel was like, if he's trash for losing, then, you know, what are we for not being here to do our jobs? Like, he was insulting himself and them because, you know, they weren't able to pull their weight in that scenario. He's 100%, like, for the job kind of guy. So, I mean, that's different. Endeavor was, like, trying to, you know, breed children to beat All Might. A little bit more vicious, if you ask me. I'm sure the Black Clover chapter, I'm interesting. The new guy from the House of Kira is made of, Damnatio, or Damnatio, I think is how his name is pronounced. He's going to be pretty cool. I'm wondering how many big characters in Kira there are, because that's the thing. It just needs to be explained where they were. It just needs to be explained where they were, because we know that, you know, House Kira, they're going to have strong quirks. They're going to have strong magic. Because look at Augustus. Augustus is not a fighter, but he was born with light magic, which is super rare. But that's because he's a royal bloodline. So this dude having balance magic or judgment magic, whichever it's going to be, makes sense of him having something super broken, because he himself is, you know, of this super high-level bloodline, you know? Let's see. Spade is clearly Russia. I hope so. I hope so. That was actually just like peering off really quick. That something that I've mentioned it before. I actually mentioned it in the character video I did. Is Zero from Fairy Tail. Every single time, I don't care about the dub. I will never accept the dub. Every time I read his voice, I will always think Russian, and I will always like him more for that. It sticks in my head. I don't know what it is. It's just so much cooler when you imagine him doing that, and I'll forever prefer it. Also, I'd really appreciate it, guys, if you would thumbs up the stream, share it if you can, you know, and I retweet it on Twitter. And if you feel like I've earned $1 anytime you want to throw something my way, all donations are appreciated, and only if you guys feel like it. I don't want to ever impose. Thank you. But anyway, back to the stream. I just want to do a little shill of myself really quick. But yeah, I'm so intrigued by the other kingdoms. Legitimately, I feel like now, 100%, I would want to go live in at least what we know so far, I would want to go live in the Heart Kingdom. I love the layout of the Heart Kingdom. I love that, like, hidden city in the jungle, and you have these, like, extra mysterious magic to them. There's stuff unsolved. They don't even know about apparently neutral, and, you know, what is it going to be where they go? Because right now, a lot of people are theorizing that Asta is going to leave. He's going to have to go rogue until they, you know, clear up what's going on, and they can kind of get everything sorted. And he's either going to go to the Diamond Kingdom, because the Diamond Kingdom, they know Mars, and they also might try and do something to help him. But there's also the Heart Kingdom, which is, neutral, which would be the safer option, whereas the Diamond Kingdom already has stuff set up to where going there, can make sense. Which, both of those are very intriguing. There's no way it could be the Spade Kingdom. The Spade Kingdom is already too big of a deal. They're definitely going to be the last ones to fight out of those three. They're just too hyped up at being big deals. It's going to happen one day. Unless it ends up like Fairy Tail, because they had Grimoire Heart as the biggest one, and it went from Erasion, Sace, Grimoire Heart, and then it turns out Tartarus was the strongest, and they were only, not viewed as the strongest because they were the least active. Which I guess you can kind of compare that to, that's one of the things I theorize about the Heart Kingdom, is maybe they're actually the strongest, and we don't know because they've been neutral, and they are much more well-kept, similar, like I said, like Tartarus, because they were only viewed as under Grimoire Heart, because they were not even close to as active. And they did have Hades and Blue Note, but I don't think that overshadows the rest of them. Yeah. I mean, Kyoka's still, and they're also way more hacks. Way broken. We're probably going to get that with the Heart Kingdom. Super good. It's going to be super sick. I feel like Asta will probably be freed on the count of the captains. I don't know. The thing is, the captains obviously are big deals, but this dude is from the House Clover, or the House Kira. He's the highest royal family. I'm assuming he's the brother of Augustus, and Augustus is already a king. You already have another person who's seemingly going to be part of the Magic Parliament, and both of them are way above the captain's pay grade. I feel like it's going to be they can clear up Asta's name, but I don't think it's going to be a quick fix. I think that all the people that are in danger, and probably some of the main characters, are going to leave and until they can get things all sorted out. It's going to be we might get Patri, William, the three members, the three Third Eye members, Bonavito and Raya, Asta, maybe Noelle, and they're all going to have to run away for right now and go to a different kingdom. That's my guess. Shigaraki getting an army was the best part of the latest chapter. I think it wasn't just him getting an army. I like the layout of that panel of. I still think the Destro switching to serve him was pretty fast, but at the same time it's okay, that's fine. He's gonna die. You can easily kind of look at it both ways and be he was a little speedy, but at the same time it was pretty crazy. Whereas what I talked about, if you actually go back and listen to some of my Hero Academia reviews, I haven't done a review in a while, but I talked about how the thing about All for One that really I think that put him in place as being a big deal in My Hero Academia is he has this almost religious kind of figure, because he can take people's powers and give them to other people. So it's just if you get in his path and you don't serve him, he can easily steal your quirk, which is obviously something that you had your whole life. It's part of you. Whereas if you don't have a quirk, serving him could get you a power, which is obviously would be really a big deal for you, because there's obviously going to be a lot of characters in My Hero Academia that want powers that weren't born with them. It just isn't Deku. It could just be some other kid who's just man, I wish I got a power. You find out this guy could give you powers, all you have to do is be a criminal. It's just there's going to be a lot of people willing to do it. There's a lot of people that probably willing to do it in real life too. And with Tamura, I said he needs to have that same level of being this almost religious character, because if he's going to succeed, All for One, he's gonna have to be able to give off that same vibe. But instead of being this kind of almost giving religious person, he's more of just this big living threat. He's just this huge monstrosity that it's either going to be serve or die. It's not going to be serve or lose something. It's serve or die. It kind of the dragon gods right now in Fairy Tail, because they talked about how how do they earn the title of god, and a lot of people they explained it a lot of people when they saw this almost living embodiment of destruction, you want to please it in the hopes that it doesn't come for you. You have to pretty much worship it, and that's what we ended up happening. So, it can make sense. I think it's a lot of a really nice layout for how Tamura is going to become a bigger deal within My Hero Academia. I believe all his money now and his power, I think he's just walk into the school HQ and Heroes and obliterate it. It'd be pretty wild if he just shows up and destroys it. I think it would be cool if it kind of because they don't know about what happened with Redestro. Redestro was still a big public figure. He could be, I think it should be they should be literally cut, it should do a chapter where it's just fun, carefree, lighthearted, and then it's
All Might shows up and he's like, "Oh hey, guess what? Like a lot of you kids got interest of whatever Reed Dester's real name is. I don't remember. It's like he invited us to go to his wherever, and he wants to talk to us. And then they get there and they're all excited, and then they walk in the room and it's Tamora sitting in a chair across the table, and it's like, oh shit, and it's a straight like into the devil's mouth kind of scenario, and it's not like, oh, we have to defeat these guys in order to win. It's like we have to escape. Maybe that's where All Might has his like sacrificial moment, because he didn't die when his fight with All For One. So he has to have, because he doesn't have his power anymore. He can't have like a good like going out like that. He has to have a sacrifice, like just completely selfless moment of saving all this youth in order to make his death feel like important. Because if he just dies, it's gonna be weird. Like if he gets assassinated, that'll be stupid. It has to be in a way that it, pays respect to his character. You can't just have a big character like that, especially All Might, who's probably, I would say All Might's like I think he's the biggest character within the series, because you get people now that don't even read or watch My Hero Academia that just draw him. Like I've seen comic book artists that never touch the series, and they just like All Might because like he's just such a good like classic hero character, and that's just, like I said, I don't think it would be giving respect to him if he just kind of like died in any way that didn't like go out like a champ pretty much, and he can't do it fighting, so he has to do it in just like a selfless manner. Yoshikage Kira. Yeah, but is it Bite the Dust? I thought his power was Killer Queen. Who's Killer Queen then? I haven't watched or read anything of JoJo beyond part 3, so I don't know, because he's the villain in part 4, so he's literally like right where I left off, I guess. So yeah, I don't know anything about him. I just know he likes to lick hands. I know he's like a hand dude. Wait 1 second. Actually, I've been laughing. Like My Hero Academia fans, they've got, obviously not all of them. They got a huge issue right now of like similar to One Piece fans, where they don't like other people liking other things. Like all the people hyping up about Kimetsu no Yaiba's beautiful looking anime. All these guys like, you're gonna get a lot of hype around it because people are having so much fun with it, and then those people are getting mad because people are talking about it being like anime of the year and shit. I see all these like, you just wait for My Hero Academia season 4, it's gonna be way better. I'm like, dude, calm down. Calm down. Like, let the people have what they're just loving all this sick demon fights and all these cool animations and like the beautiful art. Just let them have it. Just calm down. I'm not excited for the overall art, but I am excited for the Gentle art because I really like Gentle's character. Shigaraki have an army. Well, they have the army and they have the Hulk. I know where that meme was going. You can't trick me. Let me see where it was. I am behind, but I'm gonna try and catch up. Noelle and Ramosa? Oh, I'll go with Noelle. Oh, definitely Noelle. Hold on, where was it? There we go. Oh, they do have Deku, but no, that joke would make sense if they said they have a Hulk, because Gigantomachia is pretty much like their Hulk. His Big Kingdom reveal was dope. Oh, dude, yeah, I'm super excited to see him. Because it makes me think of Dark Souls. What was that castle? Was it in Dark Souls? Oh, there was one in Dark Souls, but at Bloodborne. They both have that, like, frozen, like, abandoned castle, and it kind of made me think about that. I don't think he meant literal demons. It would make sense if they're a big deal because they have, like, maybe their king is a demon. Rebecca will be a super soldier. I'm hoping it's either going to be, like, I'm hoping, like, she gets, like, a Samus suit or something crazy. I guess chances of her getting full body covered, I doubt that. But something really sick like that. Shiki is OP. Shiki's really good movement. He doesn't have any OP attacks yet. He doesn't have any crazy hacks. Like, obviously, like, Haru had, like, rune save. Natsu has, the ability to burn magic. Shiki doesn't have anything like that. I'm wondering if he gets a black hole. I'm hoping it's more like, Yami's, where it's much more of, pretty much used to, like, suck in spells. If it's a literal black hole, he's just gonna he should kill everyone around him. But I'm hoping for wormhole over black hole. I think the dudes talk about justice. Oh, the dude is named, Damnatio. Augustus calls him that right in the last page. Yeah, he does look cool, though. I understand that Julius is now young and weak, but people would still listen to him after they learn if I feel like it's powerful. I don't think he's going to be Wizard King, because they talked about he's not going to take the spot anymore. I mean, he still has the intelligence and, like, the leadership skills, but right now, you still got to keep in mind these characters, like, a lot of the captains, at least, are going to respect him still because they know who he is. Yeah, that's like I think it'd be really weird if any of the captains like, oh, he's not as powerful anymore. Well, I'm not listening to him anymore. It's like, well, yeah, he's not gonna be like your fighter guy, but he's still the same person, so you still gotta respect everything he's done. Let me ask this: Toga or Sally? I like Sally more because Sally's got on the crazy, I guess not gadgets, the magic tools. Like she literally pulled out like the 6 scorpion one, and she had a kaiju fight. That was awesome. And I do like her salamander, like her gel magic. I do think that's really cool. I mean, Toga's cool too, but I really like Sally. I still think that Tabata and Horikoshi designed them together because there's a lot of characters in the series that have similarities to each other, and the two authors are friends. So it wouldn't surprise me if they like, hey, I'm gonna do a character like this if you're interested, or maybe like they get together and brainstorm.
Not sure. Let's see. Toga, yeah, Damnatio is pretty sick. Shigaraki ain't playing no more. He's out for blood. Yeah, All Might is gonna die soon. I'm telling you. Damnatio's gonna ruin Asta's day. He's gonna run. Oh yeah, the Valkyrie stuff we're gonna get to see. I'm curious about that. I'm wondering how that's gonna go. I'm more intrigued at seeing what the three, because Kurenai's cool, but I want to see what Garrett. Well, did the other guy's name get mentioned? Because it's Baku, Garrett, and then the the old anime loving guy. I don't remember if his name got brought up. Him, I don't 100% remember. I want to see them because they're gonna be really sick. That's not for me. I extremely bad for Togen, especially Tamura. They'll be fine. How OP is the power and friendship is the best. Langers versus Finral versus Langers. Oh, dude, that fight needs to be. That fight can be all right animated up until that point. When Finral decides to jump right into things, I need that part just to be animated well. Just because, like I said, Finral is one of the best characters. They have an army and a Hulk, so it's just like they're outgunned. Like the heroes are way too outgunned. Like, it's gonna be dangerous. The only thing I can see going beyond this. One of the things I really want to see in My Hero Academia, I want there to be other big heroes and villains from other countries. I want to see like there's a big shot from each major country, and maybe that's going to be the next step for Tamura is, becoming allied with them and maybe eventually like earning their allegiance. Because that'd be pretty cool. There should be a handful of other big characters out in the world. That's one of the only things that I have like in a world aspect for My Hero Academia because it's kept too much in Japan. But it's a worldwide thing. That's one of the things I wasn't a huge fan about, like Bleach and stuff, like Tokyo Ghoul and stuff. It's different when it's in a world that's fictional, but when you have like all these areas that are built off the real world and like the powers and stuff are all going over there, it's like, well, we gotta see stuff. Like I think the only person we've seen really in the main story is like Captain Celebrity. They've gone over because the island in Two Heroes was, I think, off the coast of America, but we haven't seen any like noteworthy villains or heroes from any other countries that I can name. Captain Celebrity, I mean, he's more of a joke character. Outside his backstory, I like his backstory. Even zero Star Wars reference. Wait, what? One more Charmy or Momo. Momo. Oh, that's the weapons chick. Oh, Charmy. I like Charmy way more. Rex, you ever read Food Wars? I read Food Wars, but I kind of got bored of it. I'll probably finish it now that it's over. Almighty Push. Oh, that was awesome. I hope Eden Zero is as long as Naruto. I don't know if it'll go that long. I mean, Hiroshima says that he has an idea of how long it's going to go. It depends, I guess, on how much he just decides to extend or diminish that. I don't know if it'll go as long. I mean, it's doing really well, but I want to see what its numbers look like after it gets an anime, because it's like 57 about. So we'll probably get an anime announcement within the next like 6 months to a year. And once the anime comes out, depending on how well the anime is received, it might impact the sales. And if they, skyrocket up, then there's the potential of, ending up long, similar to like what we got with Fairy Tail. Because that's what really like blew Fairy Tail up. Because it was only supposed to be 10 volumes, but obviously it became a big hit series. So, Hiroshima extended it outwards. But that happens to a lot of big hit series. Who had a more badass entrance, Naruto in the Pain Arc or Dengaiichi when he faced Aizen on Earth? I like the Naruto one only because, like I said, you gotta look at the perspective of like this all is lost moment, and all these people in the Leap Village, the person that is there to save them is the person they've been pretty much tarnishing his whole life, that being Naruto, and it was such like a good like
turnaround moment for how people saw him, like, in mass, which is really cool. I did love Ichigo's entrance. That was really cool. But there was a lot more of emotional kind of just, like, layout with Naruto's because of that. They were both really cool, though. I loved both of them. I actually watched the Ichigo fight yesterday. I watched it in all beautiful HD against Kaisen. That was awesome. Best character theme song? That's too big of a list. I can't answer that. I do really love Ichigo's. Number one. Not the song is number one. Not the. I don't rate that as number one. Will we get Aliens in Eden Zero? Eventually, we've got a little bit. Well, I don't think we've got any like identifiable ones though. I still hate how Naruto stayed a Genin for the whole series. I mean, that was still a little bit of a silly like gag though. That was more of a. I think that was much more to do a comedic value add onto that. The fact he was the lowest ranked, but still like the most powerful. But obviously he became Hokage, so it's not like it mattered. But he was also off doing like important stuff, kind of like chain destruction. Yeah, of course. That was I love that card. I mean, it's not as OP as it used to be, but it's still good. You mean, yeah, Boruto's dad. That is fact. Shigaraki said, "Fuck out of here," and destroyed the whole town. Yeah, he decayed. All those buildings just collapsed down on him. That's all right if you're late. I don't mind. What's up, Flame Man? How's it going? Do shadows die twice? Only in Sekiro. The gentle fight is one of the best fights in the series. Can't wait to see an anime. Yeah, I really love the gentle fight. I really liked it over a lot of the other fights because, like I said, like overall fight, there was a lot of cool scenes, but the fact you knew that Deku couldn't get hit by like his power, otherwise like he might die. Whereas with the gentle fight, it was just like straight brawl, like getting hit by attacks. There was a lot more cool fighting choreography. Like Deku was getting beat up, but he was still like progressing on. There wasn't like anything that were of like, oh, he could take him out at any point if he gets this one attack. And it was literally like, no, it's gonna see who lasts longer. And then that sick La Brava power up was great. Shigaraki finds out the truth about All for One. Do you think he'll kill him? I mean, maybe. He'll eventually probably want to, like, you know, take out, like, any competition that he has. Any weapon or character in any series that bypass Zerus immortality, kill him? Dragon Slayer, maybe? No. Well, Dragon Slayer doesn't... Dragon Slayer lets you hit things on multiple planes of existence. It doesn't cancel out powers and anything. You would need to be able to kill his... Or at least shut off the Curse of Ankh Saram in order to kill Zeref. Like, unless you had an ability specifically that turned off curses on a god level, or anything like that. But that's the issue. Like, the fact that you need the only way that anyone was ever able to deal with it, including Acnologia, like he couldn't do anything about it, and he was absurdly broken. The only thing that could stop that curse is the same curse by the same guy. Which again, Ankh Saram is the logical biggest character in the series. It just depends. Depends on the character and their powers from show heroes. I mean, yeah, if you could turn off... Well, the thing is, it's not like a superpower. And it's not even magic. It's literally a curse given out by a god. So, like, you couldn't even just, like, oh, I have this power. You can't use powers in this zone. You would have to, like, be able to do it on a level from a god, which is what makes it really crazy. Old Peter Petrelli. He's got to save the cheerleader. Nozzle seemed to be Yami since he had trouble against the Eye of the Midnight Sun. Yeah, that's the thing. He's mean to guys he doesn't think can pull their weight. Where's Noel and Nozzle's father? I don't know. I wonder if he's, like, powerful or if he maybe, like, you know, he and Aesir just got along really well. Maybe he's just a charmer. His characters had all mental issues and his cleric quirks also played a role in her overall personality. Oh, yeah, like, they're part of who you are. So, like, the fact that they... You know, it's just how it is. It's part of your environment. You're going to develop aspects, you know, pertaining to them as well because they, you know, keep in mind, it's not like, oh, I have this power. Like, in your mind, you have this power for a reason. This is the power who you are. Or maybe the power developed given your personality, if that ever happens. Very intriguing. Noel or Choco. Oh, Noel, that's not a competition. I don't really like Aravity. I am not a fan of her character. Who watched the new My Academia movie? I'll watch it when it's online. I'm not going to theaters or anything for it. I'm curious to know how it's going to lay out, but I'm not curious enough that I'm going to, like, end up going out of my way to see it. If you can combine a quirk together with magic, would it count as a quirk or magic? I don't know. I mean, yeah, if it's magic-based, Asta could just undo it. The quirks seem more like genetic, like devil fruits, though. Whereas, obviously, magic and otherworldly power. You should have an intro. I'm thinking about it. I don't know. So I would need to find. I would either need to figure out how to make my own music or find a good enough like public sample that I could use. I could look on YouTube because they have a bunch of public sounds, and then I have to figure out how to make an intro. But that's something that I have been considering. I don't really know, but it's something on the table at the moment. I would have to again figure out what exactly I would do for it. Obviously, you'd have to put in the main series that I love talking about. I love talking about Fairy Tail. I love talking about Black Clover, Eden Zero, Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, Yu-Gi-Oh! And I had to involve those somehow, but then I would also have to figure out like what I would do to just kind of like add my own thing. I don't want to be one of those guys, and it's not a shot at them, where it's just like, oh, I'll just do an OC that's like all the things merged into one. You see, like, oh, I love Dragon Ball, My Hero Academia, and One Piece, so I'm gonna have All Might with Super Saiyan hair and I don't know, stretchy Gomu arms or some shit. I don't want that. I mean, I do have this OC that I got made, so I mean, it would probably be him. I am fan art one day. I imagine fan art one day. It's got my giddy selves for it'll eventually one day someone will make me something. It'll be cool, but yeah, intro probably one day. Well, Eden Zero have planet level threats. I'm intrigued by though the Eden Zero planets because some of them seem really small, but some of them seem like normal sized planets. Like that one where oh my god, I forgot Amira. She was on. I think it was her with that like candy planet. It looked really tiny. Whereas like the planets that Hermit's Baxter were involved in both look really small, but then you get like what was it? Mildian also looks pretty tiny, but then you get stuff like the planet we're on right now looks huge. So well, that looks like more like a normal planet. I don't know the planets. I'm curious if in a data book, like that would be a really cool thing for Mishima to do for like just like information, just give like a little bit of information on planet, but give them a size to give them all like their own unique like aspects about them. Maybe like weight of gravity, that would be pretty sick. What do you think could be in the Heart Kingdom? Well, I'm curious to know if each of the kingdoms, because I similar to like Clover Kingdom has a clover on it, Diamond Kingdom has a diamond kingdom. I imagine the other kingdoms have the same thing with their country, their kingdoms kind of like symbol on them. But I'm wondering if they all stem out of a different creature, like kind of like the like Clover with the elves. I imagine the dwarves will be with the Diamond Kingdom. I'm wondering what exactly will be with the other ones. You know, seemingly the Spade is going to have something. Maybe there's just going to be like a Wendigo or something cool because the cold. Like maybe a Yeti of some kind. Yeah, I'll maybe get an intro one day. Asta gonna become a rogue knight like Sasuke. I mean, a good version though. That'd be really cool. I mean, it could be just kind of like leaving and then eventually coming back, but not like a bad way. More like you guys need to, you know, not be able to be found until then, until we can clear everything up. Wormhole seeking black hole powers. I want wormholes. I like the idea of him being much more of a mobile character than just like crazy power levels, because that, you know, is his thing versus like Natsu and Haru. He's way more mobile, and that's where his powers are very emphasized on a lot of the time. I'd like to see when someone trying to implant Asta with magic. It wouldn't work. I don't think it would work because you probably have to have like a body able to retain the magic, because, you know, like you run out of magic, it comes back. Like we know in Fairy Tail, you pretty much like have like a part of your body that like absorbs magic, and magic is all in the air. The ether nano, you slowly absorb it back. Whereas with with Black Clover, I don't think we've gotten like as much of a description of how like replenishment of magic is. But Asa's body is straight like obviously unable to. So it's like even if you somehow temporarily put magic in his body, you'd have to do it again every time he ran out. Tomorrow inevitable. Deku, and I am here. I mean, you could do something cool like that. All Might for the Infinity Gauntlet? I don't know about that. Eden Zero's greatest assassins. And we'll probably get some crazy stuff too. I want to get like a race that is known for something. Like if we got like, oh, this is a race that's known for like that, like assassin aliens. That'd be really cool. Or just some special species that has like a unique thing in it. So anytime one shows up, we know that there's danger. We know like what's gonna happen. Variant Heart. Seraph can use Killer Queen Bites the Dust. Oh, yeah, well, he was gonna reverse or reset time across all timelines. It's crazy. Super OP. How strong do you think the House of Kira gonna be? I think they're gonna be between Captain and Wizard King level, similar to like Mereoleona, because that's where she really sits. She's like above the captains, but obviously, like I said, she's not comparable to Julius. That's where I see like some of these guys are, because they seem strong, but also they're from a royal family where they have OP magic. So his magic already is pretty broken. I mean, Asta's a pretty good, just straight counter to him, but Asta's a counter to most people in Black Clover. So, I mean, he has the capability of fighting him, but I don't think he's going to. I think Asta's going to leave because obviously him fighting him is just going to make the situation worse. Do you think Black Clover they will pick a new Wizard King? Yes, I think it's going to be Fuego Leon. All for One is pretty much a devil. I mean, he's not as crazy over OP as the word devil. Damn, Rex, All Might could die. Oh, he's gonna die in this arc. The next upcoming, when Tamora makes his next move, All Might is gonna die. Remember chapter 1 where there was like 4 captains and Wizard King came to the village? Why are there so many captains? I mean, it just depends on. I mean, we don't know. There was like some guys that were shrouded. We don't know which ones were identifiable as captains. Obviously, we saw Charlotte, and I think. This going back, I'm gonna go back and look at chapter 1 real quick. I think William was there. Obviously Julius. I mean, who else was just identifiable? Jack, Fuego Leon. Yeah, we see 3 of them, but we don't obviously. It's not like they're all captain. They're not all captains, but still pretty OP. I mean, they're having a secret kind of like. Well, Damnatio, we don't know if he seems to be like straight in the Magic Parliament. Maybe he's like as more of a political character, like I said, and he'll be much more in setup of like maybe like it with something happens between the captains. It's like, oh well, we're gonna have this parliament go on this kind of like court case. You have to have levels of magical characters they're present for, or if like kind of like a spec op unit, I guess. Maybe just what is it from Hitman Reborn? What are those guys called? Vindus, I think they were kind of like them. Tenka gets his dragon form after his fake parents die. I mean, what? They just die and he turns into a dragon. Do you think Black Clover? Okay, answer that. Remember? Okay, answer this. We don't know. All Might deaths could be both tragic and epic, like the deaths. Yeah, well, he can't have a superhero death like fighting because he doesn't have his power anymore. I think it's going to be a sacrifice kind of death where he's going to pretty much give himself, up in order to save other characters from going. Or maybe they'll be like, we could kill All Might right here, but we want to savor the moment, and then the other characters get away because of it. Do you think? Let's see. Rex, do you become stronger each time you debate a One Piece fan? Yes, I do. Mishikage Kirin is Killer Queen and Bites the Dust. And so, does he get a second stand? I know Bites the Dust was a stand. I didn't know it was under the same guy. I do know that there are some characters that have combos. Like, what is it? When it's the video game one, but it's still like it's still like countable. It's obviously not part of the canon, but was it Dio's where he gets the world over heaven, which is such a cool name. But yeah, I didn't know he had both of those. What is it? Does it reset time? American Dave over the whole show. I mean, it's still a good series. There's a lot of overhype, kind of like One Piece. Kira's stand is Killer Queen and Bites the Dust. Just one of his. Oh, what is it? What does it do? I thought his power he can turn stuff into bombs. Does he get? I want to look this up now. My plan is to watch JoJo more eventually, because when I read JoJo, it was like back when. A lot of people, I'm sure here, remember back when online scans were super. Like you could get like normal ones, but there's some that were super bad, like 240 and like done in MS Paint, and all they did was like put text over the kanji. That was like when I got to part 4 of JoJo, and I just was like, I can't read this. I'll just wait for the anime. And now they're like done with part 5, I think. So I'll probably get to that at some point. I'll binge watch parts. I'll probably rewatch 1, 2, and 3, and then catch up with 4 and 5 at some point. I'm thinking about making Shinkai Dragon human. You should make him. Do you explore some of the other monsters? Do some crazy stuff. You got to get some crazy, like, way out there. Like, one of the characters that I'm planning on getting a drawing tablet soon, and I want to get back into drawing. I'm hoping I don't give up this time. But one of the characters I have is themed after a manticore, so that's probably going to be one of the first ones I draw, and when it's suitable enough that I could put it online, and I'll share it with you guys. Would it read Destro be their Hulk because he's more stressed the stronger he gets? I mean, yeah, but what's his name? Gigantomaki just has that much more of a Hulk presence of just being like this giant juggernaut-y powerful guy. I mean, it's hard to say that when there's also a character named Juggernaut, but you know what I mean. Let's see. The thing about Battle Neons is they have power and skill. That's good. What do you think? What series do you think has the better demon designs? Black Clover, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Jujutsu Kaisen, or Fairy Tail? I mean, Fairy Tail's demons. I like Kirishima's dragon designs way more than I like his demon designs. I do like some of his demon designs though. One of my favorites is probably Torafusa. I love also Mark Gear. I don't like how he looks when he has pupils in his eyes. It looks weird, but I do love Mark Gears. Black Clovers, we've only really got a couple so far. Kimetsu no Yaibas are pretty cool. I'd say Jujutsu Kaisen. I love Jujutsu Kaisen's monster designs. At least out of those ones, I'd say is my favorite in terms of drawing them. I mean, they're not demons, they're curse spirits, but, you know, including that. I do love Fairy Tail's demons, but not all of them are... There's some of them that look alright, and some of them, obviously, like I said, Torafusa and Kyoka's too. I love Kyoka's, I love Sayla's. Sayla's is definitely one of my favorites. I've always, loved, similar to Hamura, that, weird wide sleeve design. I don't know what that's called, but I really like that. The anime guy is named Nino. The anime guy's name is Nino. Oh, yeah, that guy. Thanks, the guy who's obsessed with anime. Thank you. I couldn't remember that guy's name. But, Garrett, I always do remember. I remember the other two, right away, because I was happy with Garrett. The fact that he's not fodder. And then Baku, just because he has, I kept thinking about, some of his panels look more in that kind of cartoony, the way his face, and then that extra shaded, ones make him look way more intimidating. Way Hachimaru's pop set. Yeah, that was sad. I knew he was gonna die. I knew this whole layout. When people were talking about talking about what the plan is for Samurai, I knew that this whole layout was gonna be his his whole backstory piece, a sad backstory that was gonna lead into his dad dying. It just seemed like the case for it, and that's what we got. And it's still I saw it coming months prior. I mean, it's not I'd be years ago. It's only been out a couple months, but probably the chapter 4 or 5, I thought his dad was gonna die, and that's what we ended up getting. And still, at the same time, very sad for the poor kid. Which series has better female characters? My Hero Academia, Black Clover, Demon Slayer. Oh, Black Clover. That's not comparable. I mean, sorry, My Hero Academia, but My Hero Academia females aren't even close to as good. How crazy do you think Shiki's gravity power will be? I mean, it depends on if it goes down to power root or if it's mobility. I'm hoping more towards mobility. It's still obviously got a lot of potential. It's gravity. It's a really strong power. Gravity being an extremely powerful force of the universe. But it could be anything. Natsu just had fire at the start, and then he gained the ability to burn time. It just depends. It depends entirely on what Mishima wants to do with it. The stuff we learned at the Spade Kingdom makes you wonder if they've got kaijus or something. I want that too. I want a giant monster. I love Black Clover, but we haven't got a lot of cool monster designs. I want to see some horrific frost behemoth, some giant creature from, I guess maybe Russian. Russia has some cool monsters in their mythology. Give them something like that. That'd be pretty sick. I have to look into some of them. If it does end up being Russian. But we will see. It's going to be a while. They're going to be the last ones found, or last ones explored, because they're obviously the biggest threat of what we have right now. Mexican heroes, anyone? Wait, what? Mexicans here. Wait, Mexican heroes. I don't understand. Every time someone dies involving Asta, aka Asta and the Mastermind, Asta's devil disappears. Wait, did you know every time someone dies involving Asta, aka Asta and Mastermind, Asta's devil appears? What do you mean? Every time he dies? Because he didn't kill Ludros. The devil died. I'm trying to figure out were any other scenes I'm forgetting? I guess Vito. Well, Vito didn't die until he wasn't dead until he was gonna suicide himself. I'm trying to think of what other times are you talking about. Obviously, he showed up when the devil died, the word devil. So he's gonna that is one to note. But still, I'm sick and I have a new PFP. PFP? You mean that? I'm trying to wonder if you're saying PSP. Oh, profile pic. I was thinking PSP, but if you've ever read The World God Only Knows, their, pretty much version of the PSP, at least at the time when PSPs were a thing, was called the PFP. So that's where my mind instantly went to. Oh, it's Smarty. What's up, Smarty? Yeah, this you pretty much had the same idea. Like Black Clover has much better females. I mean, My Hero Academia is a couple, and then obviously after Black Clover, it's Kimetsu no Yaiba. But yeah, sorry Black Clover, or sorry My Hero Academia. Favorite super mode in anime? Um, Personally, I've always really liked Dragon Force. I've always it's a simplistic to understand. It varies between the types. It eventually will turn into a sick dragon. I mean, there's lots of different kinds. There's obviously like throughout the series. That's like a staple of like a lot of shonens is give the character a power up form. I've always loved Dragon Force. I love the fact that it's one of the things that I'm not happy about with Dragon Ball is I wish that it wasn't Super Saiyan Blue. I wish like God form and Super Saiyan made them like their colors. Like Goku is blue. Blue's like obviously with his Kamehameha that was always his color. Like Vegeta's is purple. It should be that. Gohan's is green. It should have been like that. That would have been cool. It would have made them pretty much the Power Rangers in some ways, but I think it would have added a level of uniqueness to each of them. I really liked about Dragon Forces. It's the same power, but depending on what kind of Dragon Slayer element and attribute you have, it's going to be different. Best Bleach character. My favorite Bleach characters, I like Ichigo, Ulquiorra, Grimmjow. Renji is probably my favorite overall. Best, though? I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's very subjective. Renji's my favorite, though, if that helps at all. I hope you get better, though, Smarty. You're all sick and stuff. How bad are you sick? I haven't been sick in years, so, like, don't jinx me. Moving yourself is what my show is about. That's good. It's always nice to... I always like the messages on them, because even though they're series, they still give you stuff to think about, and they can still give you life lessons. Do you think that Patriot's still going to have his grimoire, or do you think that it's integrated along with the Word Devil? I mean, that's a good question, because it was pretty much... He'd have to have it, like, linked in order to use it, because it pretty much became his after he took it. Maybe he'll get a new one. Maybe it will reform. I don't know entirely about that. That's a really good question. We'll see. We'll definitely see. Like, it would make sense if it, like, after he died, it kind of, like, came back to the previous owner. I'm so intrigued by that. We'll see. Maybe that's how they're gonna nerf him. But, like, it's like he's got a Black Clover grimoire. That's significant. It can't just get destroyed. I don't know. Maybe I think it came back to Patriot. That's gonna be my guess until otherwise said. Your ideal version of the perfect fight. So there's always the cool fights with, like, characters who are just broken. But I really like fights where the characters have somewhat equal footing of powers. Like, Natsu versus Gaju was the first big fight in Fairy Tail because they were both Dragon Slayers. It was just a straight big brawl with their own special attributes to it. Look over again, like, the reason I really like the gentle fight in My Hero Academia versus any other fights they had is he didn't have to... There was no broken hexing to worry about. It was just a straight... Who's more versatile with their power? Like, just that one scene where they're on the steel pillars, and Gentle uses his power to make it all pretty much like rubbery and elastic. He gained a speed boost by using it to pretty much jump from spot to spot. You know, obviously he's trained, he's very skilled in jumping from elastic objects. He's also got a mobility upgrade. He's got a speed upgrade, and he's messing with Deku's footing. And that's why I really liked his the most, because his power was also, I think, the most interesting to see Deku go at, because it wasn't like broken power avoid. It's like this guy's power is just really weird in a lot of different ways he can use it, but it's not undefeatable in its own sense. So again, what I really liked about like Dragon Slayer fights are always cool. Anything where it's much more of like the characters are just going to get in like a big battle that will have like their own... It's also emotional weight is always important, but at the same time, when you have a big fight, you have to either go for something like emotional weight, or you have to go for like it's just straight awesome battle. Like if you can combine the two of them, that's great. Like look at the Vito fight. That was like Black Clover, at least in my opinion, Black Clover's first like really big fight, like just like that whole like a defining moment of the series. So I love that. Discrimination lives in many stories. Oh, yeah. It's in a lot of shonens, too. Patriot is alive. Oh, thank you for the super chat there, Smarty. Watch Bungo Stray Dogs. I've been recommended to it. I'll have to check it out. I think I read a chapter of the manga a while ago, but I might be thinking of something else. I'll check it out, though. One of my friends is, like, a big fan of it, so I'll give it a look. I need to find some stuff to binge watch. I just binge watched Cannon Busters, and that was great. We gotta protect Sam at all costs. Thank you, though, for the 17 Denmark coins. I don't know what the Denmark... Oh, wait, no, I looked it up once. What is your guys' currency called? I don't know. DKK. But thank you, I appreciate it. All donations are much appreciated. Dragon Ball Super Broly was my very first watching an anime movie in theaters. I think the second for me. I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side of Dimensions in theaters first, and that's probably my favorite anime movie. I love Dark Side of Dimensions. Of course, the series you cover, channel. Yeah, like the ones would cover would be very much like in an idea for a, what would you say is the most worthy of catching up? Wait, hang on. Of the series you cover on this channel, other than Fairy Tail, Black Clover, and Zero, what would you say is worthy of catching up on first? Chainsaw Man or Jujutsu Kaisen? Check those both out. Those are both great. Outside of those, of the main ones I talk about, check those out. Those are both great. I recorded Jujutsu Kaisen right before the stream. I'm probably going to upload it right afterwards. I thought about uploading it beforehand, but I figured, you know, people who frequent my channel are going to want to come to the stream, and, you know, then the video is going to sit there and, you know, not get as much attention until afterwards. Maybe people will pass it up. I'll put it out, though. I was super stoked for this chapter. Like, Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man are both such different feeling shonens. I had such a good time reading them. He lost his grimoire before that, and my question is, if you read thoroughly, was it grimoire disintegrated with the... Oh no, yeah, I get that. Like, I have to go back and look at that. But I think my question was, like, would it get destroyed then? Because seemingly, grimoires, there's a way that they'll stay behind when you're dead, but there's a note. I remember Tabata talking about it. Normally, they can get destroyed, but they'll reform because they're pretty much made of mana. Whereas, if the user dies, they can get destroyed. Like when we saw when Julius was close to dying, his grimoire was crumbling away. So, but the question is it fully linked to him, or when he was dead, did it, even if it got destroyed, it could reform with Patri? Because that's my question. It's because even if it was destroyed with the Word Devil, it could easily, if it goes back to being linked to Patri, it could just reform. I mean, I didn't fully answer your question, but I kind of went off on a tangent of, like, a relation of both your question and what I was thinking, like, off that. Sorry, I didn't mean to, like, beat around your question, though. Unless you're saying that the Gorm reverted back to Patri. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking about. Speaking of Super Saiyans, the elves have a battle aura not unlike Super Saiyans in the anime. Well, that's good. Yami versus Priest Makarov. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Makarov. The thing about Makarov that we didn't see much, and we haven't seen since, is his Titan form he used when Grimoire Heart showed up. And you actually can see how absurdly big it is. Because, like, the Makarov, usually Makarov, when he gets pretty big, we saw him, like, the start of the series, he's probably, like, 20 to 30 feet tall. We saw him, like, when he went up in with Agil at the start, near the beginning of the Alvarez arc, he was still pretty big. Like, he was probably, like, 100 feet or something pretty huge. But when he went up against Grimoire Heart, that dude is over a mile tall. Because you can actually see in the bottom left panel is the ship that Fairy Tail showed up on. And that's still a pretty big ship. It's a three-sailed, like, pretty big, like, travel ship. You know, it has to accommodate all the people on board for however long their trip was. And it looks like a toy to him. It literally looks like something you get out of a Happy Meal, if not smaller. It looks like a little tiny, like, I was going to say a rubber duck size, like a bathtub rubber duck, but it's smaller than that. It was such, I guess maybe like a cat toy. I don't know. Like, he's massive. And Yami's powerful. His, like, thing that he would need in order to kill him is Dimension Slash. But, yeah, like, Makarov would literally just kind of, like, body slam the area. Like, he was making tsunamis by kicking. Like, he's definitely more powerful. You need large-scale magic at that point to stop him. And plus he has Fairy Law. Makarov, the Titan Makarov is still stronger than most of Black Clover. He can still beat a lot of the characters in that form. And that's one of the things that, like, I think really, like, was his ringer. Like, he had such mass to him and, like, physical strength, he can probably throw characters into space. I mean, obviously that's, like, a stretch, but it's still, like, possible with how physically gigantic he was. What's up, Green Lava? I don't know if I've seen you in my streams before. How's it going, man? Ask any questions you want. It's not just Black Clover, Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, Fairy Tail, My Hero Academia, any series that you want to bring up, you think I might have read, or you want to recommend, or any recommendations you want from me. Just go ahead and ask, dude. Fairy Heart, Zeref versus Acnologia, post-space 15 time. Well, Zeref even said, like, he wasn't even confident in fighting Acnologia one-on-one when he had the fairy heart and control over the space between time, and Acnologia was just himself. He didn't think he could beat him even then. Acnologia would still win. Makarov in Attack on Titan. Oh, he's way bigger than anyone in Attack on Titan. He's gigantic. He's straight like a mile, probably plus tall. Like, holy shit. Dude's a fucking... Like, when I say Titan, I literally mean, like, a Titan. Like, go look at, like, the giants from like, God of War. Like, old Greek Titans. I mean, obviously not some of them. What Atlas... I mean, I guess it depends, because Atlas in actual Greek lore, he holds up the planet, whereas, like, he actually does that in God of War, but he's the size of the other Titans, but he's, like, a physical absurdity. He's literally holding up the world. But yeah, crazy stuff. Did you know the first volume of... mine is going to be here on Tuesday. I pre-ordered mine a while ago, so I'm going to get mine the same day that the chapter comes out, the next chapter. I thought about just going to the store, but I wanted to pre-order it. I'm obviously getting it later. I have volume 1 already, but it's the Japanese one I bought a couple months ago when I went to this small... it was a small, like, little Asian area of this city, but it still had a pretty sizable, like, manga and like, just anime stuff in general. I'd go there more, but, like, I had to take a ferry ride to get over there. I don't want to go there regularly, like, geez. Let's see. Yugi or the Rune King Thor? How powerful is that version of Thor? I have no idea. Fire Dragon King versus Dragon Force. That'll be sick. Well, his new one, Aetherius Dragon Force, is definitely the strongest that we've seen. Well, that he's done except for the 7 Fire Dragon Dragon Force that he used against Acnologia. And I talked about this last week. The reason for that, if you go back and look, his power was literally, like, affecting the scales of his scarf. Like, they were having, like, an alternate state while these were going off, which was pretty wild. Do you think Nozel might get a form like Noel if he trains his Mana Skin? I mean, maybe. He's much more a control guy. I would like to see him having much more of a large arsenal, like maybe just straight controlling more Mercury than getting, like, a battle form. Just because that's his thing. Because all the captains have their own kind of, like, specialty. His thing is control. He's like a high control mage. So I'd like to see... I would really like to see, like, him just... He's standing there, and you're literally just fighting this environment of Mercury weapons coming at you and constantly changing shape. Kind of like how Gaara was. Like, remember when Rock Lee was fighting him, and he was trying to get through his sand defense, and Gaara wasn't even moving because his sand is automatic? Something like that. That'd be really cool. Yeah, I read that. If anyone's wondering about Noel and Nels's father, we saw him a little bit in the flashback, but we don't know anything about him. I think that was the question. What do you think the most potential sealing magic would be, for instance, instead of sealing you? It's sealing damage. Sealing damage is ridiculous. Because then it's like, oh, you can get hit by a bunch of stuff where it's like, oh, hey, let me lock that up in you. But the thing about that as well is you can seal it in an opponent. You can seal it all up and then unleash it so it all happens at once. Because there's a difference. Like, imagine taking an attack that's like, oh, this does, 2 damage. I have 20 HP. I could take this many times. But, like, there's also, like, general kind of, like, healing and whatnot. But imagine them stacking it up and then dropping it, and then she undoes it and pretty much does all that damage all at once. If you've ever read Toriko, there's a guy in there named Jiro, and they have this thing called knocking, which, it's pretty much... It's kind of hard to explain. I guess he kind of, like, pressure point, kind of, like, attacking abilities. And he could actually knock damage in his body, so he could, pretty much inert damage hit to him. But it's not like it cancels it out. It pretty much stores it, and it's not going to hurt him, but it exists there. And the way that he died is this guy undid all that. So he got, over like 500 plus years of his life, all the damage he'd ever taken, all came back to him at once. And it was too much for his body, and he died. But at the same time, like, that's going to be absurd, like, because she can seal damage within Asta, and then after the fight, maybe undo it, so, like, he's going to get hurt later on. That's the thing I think that makes her the most broken. I mean, she could seal limbs together, and she's super absurd. Like, hers is crazy. Strongest member of the Seven Resistance that Asta can beat. He can beat any of the, Holy Knights, except for, like, I don't think there's any of the Holy Knights. I guess if you count Meliodas. there's a lot of characters I don't think he can beat yet, just because of like the thing is like that hurts him is because the thing about Asta that hurts him is he's automatically like his big weakness because when Vito fought him he said like one of the things that his weakness is characters who are physically stronger and faster than him are very hurtful to him, and Seven Deadly Sins has a lot of like just raw physical strength feats which are still pretty impressive, but like they're overall like big feats. Black Clover has more impressive magic. They have like some bigger power outputs, but none of that is going to Asta yet. And then obviously anti-magic, but a lot of them have big AoE attacks that if Asta got caught in it, it would pretty much take him out instantly. So I'd say like a lot of Holy Knights, like he's I think in the end he's going to be more powerful than anyone in Seven Deadly Sins. But obviously he's still like young as hell. Like he's still pretty small in the grand scheme of things, even though he's got anti-magic, it doesn't cancel out. Like, he still needs support in order to get a lot of his big wins. Oh crap, the Magic Council is how you become Wizard King. Yeah, I imagine that's involved. The captains are involved, the previous Wizard King and the King are involved. My guess is Fuego Leon. Fuego Leon is who I'm guessing. What if it could be every race in one anime like Ichigo? I mean, you just become a big amalgam of other things. I guess it would really depend, like what bonuses you get, what negativities do you get. Escanor, Real versus Yuno after Elf arc. I mean, a rematch would be really cool. Because the thing is, like, Real might be more powerful because all the characters that came back from being elves, well, not all of them, but they seem to retain some, as we saw with Lux. So there might be a higher level of paint magic that he has. Like I said, their body kind of remembered a little bit of that style of new mana and like version of the spell. So he might have like a higher level of painting. I don't know. And then you could say the same about Yuno, but in that 1v1, Real was going to win. Real was gonna, because he was gonna outlast Yuno for sure. Down because all the kinds of experiments and they do to give Asta better control of his anti-magic. I mean, we could see some crazy stuff like that. I'm wondering like if there's gonna be another sword there or what. Because so far we got a sword. Asta got sword number 1, obviously at the start of the series. We got sword number 2. In the Diamond Kingdom, and we didn't get another one until, like, 3 years later. So I'm wondering if it's either going to be another big, long gap until he gets another sword, or if we're going to get the next one. Because obviously they're hidden in, like, these dungeons, or, anybody who finds them is going to keep them because they're a big deal, but I don't know. Yeah, it might be a bad, it might be a bad idea. I feel like it might lose to Escanor. I feel like he might lose to Escanor at the right time. Oh, normal Escanor? Normal Escanor would body Asta. That's not a fight. Like, I mean, there's the thing is, like, Asta's fast enough to react to a lot of them, but their AoE is so much beyond him. He can still get hurt by their attacks. He just has to get the anti-magic, effects off, but the AoE is too much for him. Like, he could easily, keep this in mind. Like, he could still, like, because we know the extent of the anti-magic swords, like, they're way higher. Like, Asta's pretty durable. The anti-magic swords are way more durable, and they affect way higher that's in his, like, actual current league of stats. Because we know that they were, they belong to somebody way above him. So their, like, durability and level of potency are at that level of Licht, but obviously Asta is not even comparable to Licht currently. But he could still, like, Escanor uses, like, Pride Flare or something. If Asta can hit the attack, he can reflect it, qualify it. But all Escanor would have to do is instead just attack the ground. Throws it at the ground, melts it. Now Asta's now going to fall into, like, lava and probably burn to death. It might be bad. Real versus Rufus from Sabretooth. One of the things about Rufus that is very overlooked, his ability to cancel out other people's magic by making them forget. Like, that is a pretty hacks power. He can copy them as well, and then combine them. He actually can rewrite memories. He can affect memories. That was mentioned in his guild card. Obviously, we never saw it, but it is canon to, part of his explanation, of his powers. I'm going to go with Rufus as of right now, because just, like, they're both very versatile mages, but Rufus has the fact that he can affect other people's magic and integrate their magic into his that makes him pretty deadly. I mean, you have to straight, like, obviously he's a ranged character, so he's not that durable, but I imagine Real is the same. Requiem stands, anyone? Is a Requiem stand a certain level? Like, or is that like when they have double names? I don't know that much about JoJo, so I can't say. That's pretty cool though. If they're called Requiem stands. Eden Zero Crew will travel to dimensions and stuff. I'm hoping more to planets, because Fairy Tail did other dimensions. I'd rather them go to different planets. Eden Zero's god characters. I like, the way I put it, is not like gods, they're more like cosmic beings. Because gods are more like, you can still call them gods, but they're more like mythological and kind of like otherworldly, and much more of like Ankh-Saram or Kronos or any of these, where they're much more like almost mystical beings, whereas cosmic beings are much more like, they're at that level because they're just such an advanced species, or just some like creature that's existed in the like confines of deep space. I mean, you can still kind of go the same way, but there's obviously kind of like a difference between them and variations. Think of dragons as Saiyans, a little bit. Bites of Dust is basically a time rewind ability that sets off and destroys anyone who tries to find out his identity. Rewinds to the day 4. That's pretty crazy. I'll have to look into that. I'll get to Part 4 JoJo one day. Promised Neverland is the best demons. It does have a lot of cool demons. I am not caught up, though. One day. The ones I saw were pretty cool. I mean, if you count Chainsaw Man's demons, though, man. Chainsaw Man demons. Oh, my gosh. I love Chainsaw Man's demons so much. They're so cool. Dragons are pure power and battle now. Do you mean, like, they're, like, energy beings? Or, like, what do you mean? Compared to Kimetsu no Yaiba's demons, Chainsaw Man's devils, and... Oh, yeah, well, Chainsaw Man's are devils. But, I mean, you can kind of compare them the same thing. Jujutsu Kaisen's curses. Which monster is more terrifying? I'm still going to go... in just those three, I'm going to go with Chainsaw Man's. Because the Chainsaw Man seem to manifest. I don't know the origins of Promised Neverland's demons, so I can't say. Jujutsu Kaisen's, they obviously manifest as well. But, oh, I'm bumping into stuff. But the level of, like, complexity that the Chainsaw Man ones, like, you got concepts, like, forming up like that. Like, the gun devil, the fear of guns, fear of violence, fear of eternity. There's a lot of crazy stuff like that I think makes them more spooky. But I just really love the much more horror design. Like, the ghost devil, like, is super spooky to look at. It's got a ton of hands for legs. It's like this big, stringy, webby-haired person with stitched eyes and a mouth and, like, a flower body. It's super spooky. Kishimoto surprised me that I didn't think we would get a sad death this early in Samurai. I saw it coming. Just because it was you gotta have that, like, sad character backstory, and I don't think just, like, him being crippled was enough. I feel like he had to have a heavy loss. I watched an Invader Zim movie. It was cool. Oh, dude, that was awesome. I had a lot of fun watching it. Roxy, ever cried while watching anime? Oh, there's been some sad scenes for sure. Natsu during Ignio's death still gets me. 100% still gets me. Anytime I watch that scene, I get really emotional. I love that part. It was just such like it felt way more organic, and I take a little jab at, like, One Piece. Ace dying, it felt too over the top. Like, a lot of the time when One Piece tries to do emotional stuff, it feels too try-hard. Like, he literally went into, like, a coma. He was that sad. It's just, like, I mean, I get it, like, Luffy's kind of retarded, but, like, I don't feel like it... I've never heard of someone being so sad over something like that they just pretty much shut down and go into, like a coma. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's happened, but, like... I don't know, it just feels so unbelievable, and we already knew throughout the story that any time, like, Ignio was ever brought up, like, Natsu became, like, very emotionally fragile, and it just felt so much more like that, felt like as a logical layup for his character. Like, he was breaking, but he didn't go into, like, a goddamn coma. Asta could be exiled to the land of the rising sun. That too, there's a bunch of possibilities. I didn't even think about the land of the rising sun being a possibility. That's a good point, because Yami might be like, oh, this is a good excuse to go home. But, I don't know, I feel like the Diamond of the Heart... Diamond feels like the most logical because it's... I mean, from a story perspective, because we know they're all set up, we know information about them, we know the stuff that's going on. And then the Heart Kingdom feels like the most safe option. The land of the rising sun, though, is a good option in there. That's pretty cool. I didn't think about that. Thank you, Greenlove. That's a good thing, because I wanted to do a video soon about going over that, of being like, what's Asta gonna do? I'm gonna mention that. I'll give you a shout out, Green Lava. It's gonna be helpful to remember that too, because you got a cool name, Green Lava. Ready to go to church now? Keep the stream busy. Well, it'll be a fun at church. I wish you guys. I don't know if you heard that. I wish you could see my layout right now, as my cat takes up my whole desk, and I literally have my mouse hanging off the side because she's gonna end up bumping into my keyboard if I don't move everything. But yeah, she is. She's being a goof. My other cat's just sleeping somewhere. I know where he's at, but whatever. Nezuko is precious. Nezuko is precious. If you haven't yet watched Cannon Busters, the main girl Sam, within the first episode, I loved her so much. I love that character. She's too precious. Nezuko's precious, but Sam, oh my god. Go watch that. It's on Netflix. I'm surprised Netflix made like a Netflix original anime and it was really good. I hope the next one's good. Yeah, fun at church, facts, favorite YouTuber. Oh, thank you. Talk about me, talk about someone else. Either way, it's fine. Appreciate it. Do you think Wendy will become a major player in defeating Toka since she can counter her spells with enchantments? I think she can affect them. I don't think it's going to be the same thing because obviously Toka is a league beyond. She's definitely a league beyond Eileen. I don't have any doubt that Toka's way more powerful. Like the fact that she beat the Fairy Tail Guild is impressive, but the fact that Laxus and Jalol were both there and she trashed both of them with seemingly like no level of resistance is so much. It's so much beyond Eileen or Irene. I keep calling her Eileen because I got used to that, and then like her canon translation is Irene. Genos versus Wall. How did Genos get more powerful? I'm not caught up on One Punch Man, but I'm gonna go with Wall because of Wall's like abilities, being able to absorb energies and whatnot. He can scan people's weaknesses. He can fight with proxy robots, and then just Ethereon in general is pretty cray. Pretty wild stuff. My allergies are through the roof, and I have diarrhea. I don't want to know that much. Jeez. But, yeah, I hope you feel better, dude. Hey, just be thankful what times we're living. That used to be a death sentence, like 100 years ago. So do you think that the Grimoire went back to Patri now, as Flamin commented? Patri did technically die, so if the Grimoire went back to Patri, did it disintegrate, or when he died? Again, that's, like, the question, because it's still... There's obviously, like, it's not just like, oh, you're dying, it's gone. Because... Your soul is still part of you. I mean, there's so many good questions because we don't know a lot about like the full extent of like how grimoires like in their existence. Because obviously, there's ways that even if you die, your grimoire could exist. Asta having Lick's grimoire. I think that's maybe like a good enough reason because maybe like they didn't straight like die. They were souls still floating around. Like maybe you have to go to the afterlife or whichever the next world beyond is. Like for death, not like the other world where the demons are. For Black Clover, that's my guess. Because if they're all still around, that would explain, like, oh, maybe his grimoire, like, Lick's grimoire stayed around and then it became Asta's. Like, it didn't just disintegrate because his soul was floating somewhere. Maybe that's why Patri will still get his. His soul hadn't fully passed on. I don't know. Or I'd have to use the 100 Years quest. I use the Pocket Manga version. So they have the official one. I have one that I can't download it off of the App Store because for some reason, I think it's dumb that I can't download it from because it's from another country. But I can download the files. I'll post it on my Twitter. If you go to my Twitter, I'll post it after this. Just at me on Twitter, and I'll give you the link that I used. You can download it, and it will set like even though it won't let you download it off the Google merch store, it will connect to your Google account. And then you can just like make purchases like normal. Like every other week, I spend like $5, and then I have enough to buy Fairy Tail, City Hero, Happy's Adventure, and any other like stuff on there. And support official release and stuff. Current Elfman versus Vito. Oh, Elfman. Elfman is so much underplayed because he hasn't done like anything big in a while. But like the fact he was able to trade blows evenly with Base Natsu and Alvarez. The fact he's clearly strong right now. And he was able to, even though it was off panel, somewhat keep up like with Agil. He's beyond Vito at the moment. Obviously, Vito has regeneration, but the thing is, though, too, Vito isn't human, so takeover magic. Elfman could probably copy Vito's form and then gain his abilities too. Just the way that takeover magic works. Oh, Kroner, yeah, that's the Denmark currency, Kroner. How's it going, yeah? Let's see. So how many branching assumptions have we to take on Patriarch's to make with Patriarch's and his grimoire? I think there's enough evidence, like I said, like with Asta, and Lick's grimoire staying around. Maybe that's enough. Maybe it's still linked to him, and you have to go to like wherever you go when you die, and your soul passes on in Black Clover for your grimoire to disintegrate. What do you think Nana's quirk is? I think it may be counter to Mora, and it would be the last quirk he gets. Maybe she has like a creation one, because obviously it's got to have something related, because that's his grandmother. Maybe hers was kind of like reforming, like that would be a perfect superhero thing. Like imagine that you have a big fight. She has a super strength because of All for One, or sorry, One for all the property damage, and then afterwards she just like uses her power, fixes all the buildings and cars and whatnot. That's like the perfect superhero power, because then you're like a PR like legend. You never have to worry about property damage. That would actually be really cool, and it would be such a cool thing, because at the same time it would also make sense because of the fact that she's Tamora's grandmother, and their quirks having somewhat connection towards each other in a bloodline makes sense. So Yami's Dimension Slap. So it would affect Makarov, but like it would cover the area. Like as we've seen, we don't know if he can use Dimension Slash with Mana Zone freely. It seems like it's got a charge up focus layer. But like even if you counted like Dimension Slash normally, it's not got the best range. Like it still went like probably a couple dozen feet. But Makarov's arms alone in his super giant form are like hundreds of feet each. Like it would damage him, but it's not even gonna like cut off his arm. You would have to like get him like at the throat multiple times, but he could also probably just dodge. But he's also got defensive magic as well. So he's a big boy. He's got too much surface area for that. You should do voice actor trivia. Voice actor trivia. You mean for like who people play what? Like trying to guess who's a voice actor for which character? Yami versus Eren. Yami would kill Eren. Well, the thing is, it's not like Eren is much. There's no character in Attack on Titan that's outside of Yami's or Dimension Slash like range. Well, that's the thing with Makarov. It's that he's so freaking big. Like the slash is gonna cut him, but it's not gonna cut a significant level. Like, he's gonna have to do multiple slashes just to take off like an arm. Like a Dimension Slash might take off a finger, but that's like it. I think no. What is her name? Rod Rice is not as big as Makarov. If you go back and look at the chapter. If you go back and look at the chapter, I believe it's 215. It might be 216. I think 215. I think 215 is that whole first scuffle of Makarov versus the members of Grimoire Heart, and 216 is his fight with Hades. But if you can see the fairy tale ship next to him, and that was still a pretty sizable ship, and it's tiny to him. It's like the size of a fingernail. Dude's gigantic. Imagine Nozel, who already controls the environment. Mana Zone with him would be dangerous. I think that's like what you could go with him. Like having some form of like clad power up isn't what I think he should go with. I think it's just like that level of control. Like Mana Zone for him is going to be wild. Just that extra level of being able to use stuff. Oh my god. What was his attack called? The Silver Execution Prison or whatever? That attack was so cool. I mean, he already pretty much has it with that. Favorite anime attack? I don't know if I can answer that, because there's so many good ones. You know what? I'm just gonna go with Summoning Exodia or like Blackluster Soldier, Dark Magician, Natsu's Roars. Always love Natsu's Roars. But just like, dude, there's so many hype moments in Yu-Gi-Oh! Just summoning stuff. I bet Noel's father's a bum. I doubt he's a bum. He doesn't seem like a bad guy. I mean, we have nothing to consider him being a bad dude. Were you disappointed in the animation of Acnoli's attack in the most recent episode? I didn't mind it. Like, I don't expect... So I don't know where the animation budget is going right now. I'm hoping for it being kind of like what Black Clover's been doing. And we got that a little bit in the August fight. There were some parts that were really well animated. And I'm hoping that we're, this next big clash with Natsu and Zeref, as they're, Natsu's in his, Natsu's gotten back up, Zeref's in Fairy's white form. And I hope they add a little bit extra to the fight scene. I hope the animation looks good on that, because that's obviously the big ending of that fight and the end for Zeref's character. I'm hoping that all the Acnologia budget goes when they, eats the space between time and they fight him inside there. But I'm also I'm hoping more than animation quality. I'm hoping for Acnologia's backstory. I care more about that. I want that so bad. I want that so bad. I need Acnologia's freaking backstory. I've been waiting so long for it. Yeah, I think we see a little bit of him in chapter 170, but I don't think I don't think he has any noticeable traits or a name. Ultra Instinct Goku versus Fairy Heart Zeref. Well, Zeref, the thing about that is kind of weird because obviously Goku is like way higher stats, but Zeref is like a level of hacks that you literally can reset time. He could literally reset 400 plus years and then go kill Goku as a baby. But Goku obviously, is a universal threat. I don't think, does he have any time powers? I know he's got Hakai or whatever, that super destruction. But Zeref could reverse time after being fully obliterated. That's kind of weird because, like, the power level gaps are huge, but Zeref's level of hacks and, like, control over time was ridiculous. Versus Langris pre-reincarnation. I'm going to go with The thing about Langris is if you are super mobile, then you already, you're enough to get on. Because he's not... The Ratchery version has an automatic spatial shield around him. Whereas normal Langris just... he's uses his hands, or he's got, the little orbs around him. I forgot they were called. So he's... if you just outspeed him, you're more maneuverable than him, then you could beat him. And it's heavy on mobility. Asta versus real pre-reincarnation. See, that's a little bit of a hard one, because obviously, Asta can fight him. It just depends on whether or not Real can incapacitate him, I think. If Real can just get incapacitated, which he knows how to do, he's got spells for that, then he's going to beat Asta. Because he's fast enough for it, he's skilled enough for it, he's got an arsenal for it. Do I think Zoro will be able to make clones of gunpowder ash that will ignite? Like exploding clone traps. That'd be pretty sick. I love his trap magic. The spell that I'm really hoping he gets an ace in the hole, because he doesn't have a big ace in the hole spell. All the characters so far, they end up getting some big hacks like ace in the hole, like Dimension Slash. Vanessa's got Rouge, fate manipulation magic. Magna's got all his level of crazy fireball combinations. I'm hoping that Zora gets something because he can set up, traps, and then it affects someone's spell. I'm hoping he could sets up one that can absorb it, and then store it, and then eventually just drop one big attack. Just being able to steal other people's, spells, and then just slowly combine them, and then store them, and then just drop it into one big move. Because obviously his style is he's a trickster, he's a dude about traps, and he's strategic. I mean, the Ash clones is a good idea, but that's a good idea. I do hope he gets something like that. My hopes are, though, on just some big ace in the hole attack, because that's what he doesn't have right now. He doesn't have some big ending point move that I think he needs, because obviously he's got high level of team addition, but I think he needs his own stuff for KC 1v1 fights. Imagine if he fired a Spirit Storm and then refired it at the enemy. Wait, what? Imagine if imagine if you don't fired it and then refired it at the enemy. What do you mean? Multiple fires? I mean, he fired two, right? And right before the Word Devil showed up with Mana Zone, he fired it right behind him. I mean, he could do multiple, probably. Mana Zone and then drop a couple from different directions. Maybe drop two at once and then combine them for a giant one, or maybe a spinning one. Maybe just call it Spiral Spirit Storm or something. Spirit Spiral Storm. And it's just two of them spinning around or something, so it becomes a tornado. Man, that'd be sick. Let's see. Rex, have you been collecting the volumes of Radiant? I think I'm a volume behind. I haven't bought any volumes lately, because I wanted to get a new bookshelf. And then, I was looking at bookshelves, and then literally, my mom messaged me, and she's like, hey, do you want anything from Target? And I'm just like, I don't know where this came from, but sure, I'll take a bookshelf. And then, so I guess she's going to order me a bookshelf and send it to me. I don't know. But yeah, once I get the new bookshelf, I'm going to get, I got to go through some of my volumes, because there's some stuff that I haven't bought yet, and every time I go to Barnes & Nobles, I forget what I have and what I don't have, and then I just don't buy stuff. I'm going to have to keep notes soon, because I think I'm a volume of Black Clover behind. I think I'm a volume of one of the spin-offs or Fairy Tail behind. I'm behind on a couple things. Let's just go with that. I need to catch up with some of the volumes. I haven't made any volume purchases in a bit. Once I get my next bookshelf, I'm definitely gonna. What if Shiki's gravity raining down meteors? That'd be pretty sick. So that's the thing I like. I want him to be much more like not straight like big like that. Like oh, I make a black hole, but like using the environment, like because that would be one of the things like additional, like not only like straight in mobility, but it could be a thing about it, like range, having like a high level of range, just the effect. I need it. I need something cool like that. I just don't want him to become straight powerhouse because obviously that's what Natsu was. I like the fact that they have different styles to them with that. Which is more emotional? Lucy breaking the Aquarius Gate, Gray saying goodbye to his father, Natsu losing Ignil. Oh, Natsu losing Ignil. Because it was such a heavier thing, because even though it was sad for the other two, this is what Natsu had been looking forward to the whole, like, throughout the series. And then we saw this character, he finally saw his dad, and he didn't have instantly, like, the first thing that happened to Natsu when Ignil showed up is Natsu was, like, crying in, like, shock over this, that his dad is now before him. And then shortly after that, his dad was killed, and he couldn't do anything about it. Those were all really good moments, though. Rex, what series do you think is most overrated? One Piece, Dragon Ball, and My Hero Academia. There's obviously it's not all My Hero Academia fans, and it's not all One Piece fans. I think there's a problem in their fan base that some of them get really mad if you don't like them. Like I've met, like if you go online, you say somebody talks about One Piece, you just like, oh, I'm not a fan of One Piece. They'll get mad at you. They will get upset and like insult you, and then like people come at me. Like earlier today, it might have been yesterday. I was talking about, people, because all these people are hyping up Kimetsu no Yaiba's anime, and there's a lot of people being like, oh, quit talking about it. You just win for My Hero Academia Season 4. I'm just like, dude, calm down. People are having fun. They're liking this. Maybe they don't like My Hero Academia. Not everyone likes My Hero Academia. And then somebody like was just like, because all I said was like, dude, calm down. Let people, you're being mad because people aren't wanking what you like. And then some guy like randomly had to be like take a shot at my avatar. It's like, yeah, you just are mad that some people don't like what you like. Who cares? People have different opinions. Like it doesn't matter if you can. Somebody else not liking what you like shouldn't affect like your own taste. It's silly. Do you think I better military? Zeref, Yacht, or Obito? Oh, Zeref. Zeref had over 1 million foot soldiers. He had a continent spanning an empire spanning an entire continent. He had all these characters that were all like felt like final boss characters, all bent the knee to him. I mean, Yacht had a cool crew, but they're not even close to the Alvarez Empire. They had some cool characters in there, but like the level that they had, like stretching out, like Zeref's influence was insane. Irene versus Natsu full power fire dragon king mode. I'd probably go with Natsu. Anything where he taps into the Savage Dragon Fire is going to kill her. It's going to absolutely decimate her. And she's like a boss character for him that's definitely within sight. August is as well. Like, it's not impossible for him to beat them. Obviously, he can't beat Zeref 1v1 unless he acts as Savage Dragon Fire again. But, Dragon Force against August or Irene, it could potentially beat them. Zeref's army was insane. Did you see Oda executing Luffy, taking down Kaido and Big Mom and Wano well? I'm hoping so. The thing is, like, right now, I'm very not happy about this Otama girl, because her power is so convenient, and, like, you have all these Zoan enemies, and she could take control of them. Like, you had that one dude with the stupid elephant on his chest, whatever his name is, and he's now, like, calling her master, and now he's, like, turning on Kaido because, like, she can control him now. And it's like, what's the extent? Is she going to take over, like, King, Queen, and Jack? Will it work on Kaido? Is Kaido pretty much going to become, like, a dog of Luffy through this girl? I don't know. I'm really hoping not. My whole take on, right now, what's happening in One Piece, and obviously this is just my opinion. I don't know how many of the people, here are One Piece fans, but, like, the last arc, I don't like what's happening in this arc and the last arc. Because Luffy was fighting Katakuri, and instead of getting Awakening that we found out was a thing, like, further in detail during his fight with Doflamingo, which would logically should be the next power Luffy goes to, he ended up in the middle of a fight with Katakuri getting advanced observation haki. And then after losing to Kaido, he remembers, like, another lesson. Like, he remembered, oh yeah, Riley taught me about it, advanced observation haki. And then I can learn, like, my haki will get better in the middle of a fight. And then it's like, that seems so plot convenient, like absurdly plot convenient. And then he did it again. Like he lost to Kaido and he's like, "Oh yeah, Riley taught me this." And like I couldn't damage through Kaido's scales, but I now can learn this version of Haki that can bypass his scales and do internal damage. And then not only did he conveniently remember that Riley taught him this, he conveniently had a dude standing next to him that he made friends with like that day who's like, "Oh, I know how to do that. I can teach it to you." And it's just like, it's so absurdly plot convenient. And it's like you had Awakening. You had Awakening like set up, and now if Luffy doesn't get it this arc, and they're getting close to the final battle, it's like, is he gonna do this next arc? Is Luffy gonna lose to whoever the next boss is, or maybe unlock Awakening in the middle of the final war? It'll feel dumb. It should have been he unlocks it in his fight with Katakuri. Him and Katakuri clearly earned a respect for each other, and Katakuri didn't tag along with Big Mom and crew when they came to Wano. It should have been he shows up separate and he fights with Luffy. Like, imagine if he showed up and him and Luffy met face to face again, and he's like, "Oh, I just want to fight you again," and it's not like to the death, it's literally just like, "I want to fight you," and he wants to help Luffy, and he trains him in how to, like, master Awakening, similar to something like, when Ichigo learned Bankai, you'd still get it, but you could figure out, like, a way to cheat it. Instead of naturally awakening it, you can have somebody, like, show you, like, the understandings of Awakening and how it works. Because we don't even know, like, does every big character have Awakening? Why does we only seeing, like, Doflamingo and Katakuri have Awakening? Why haven't all these other characters that were big shots before have Awakening? It's like, maybe not every character has an Awakening. It's more of, like, a special thing that's not power level based. It's more of, like, an understanding based, kind of like what they did with Ultra Instinct in Dragon Ball. Because Master Roshi, like, could use it to a degree, and it's not something you achieve during power levels. It's something kind of like a focus and understanding. It's like a little bit of an enlightenment thing, and that could have been his thing to come up against a rematch with Kaido, is learn how to use Awakening. Like, say he unlocked it during his fight with Katakuri, and it was just uncontrolled, and then he ends up mastering it, like, again, training with Katakuri. And it also would give Katakuri, like, an extra, like, level of like, his character, where he maybe, like, betrays the Big Mom Pirates and joins up with Luffy's crew, which would have been cool, but also helps him in this whole, like, big aspect of his character. But they're not doing that. I don't know. I don't really like what's going on right now. I worry that it's going to be more plot convenient stuff of how Luffy's going to win, but I don't know. I prefer to be wrong. I'd prefer to be wrong and not be mad about it than, I'd rather it be good. Like, for real. Anytime I ever speculate something that I think is negative, I'd much rather the good thing happen and be wrong. Like, because I want things to do good. I don't like it when things are bad. I don't take joy out of a series doing bad, even if it's doing good sales-wise. In my perspective, and, like, things that I didn't take well, I would rather take them good, Anyway, Juha, Soul King versus Zeref Fairy Heart. I was talking about this with someone recently, and the thing about it is, like, Juha could obviously, like, he can alter the future in ways by seeing, like, he pretty much can see all the different timelines. He knows how to, like, what he has to do in order to get these other timelines and, like, mess with the future. But Zeref can, like, pretty much mess with his own version of time and just undo himself anytime that he gets destroyed. He can, alter time as well. But with him, the thing I think that's different about him is, as Juha could actually be affected by people drastically below him, their powers, because he was affected by Aizen's Koten Suigetsu, or is it Kyoka Suigetsu? No, Koten. Oh my god, what is his? Is it Kyoka Suigetsu? I think is his Zanpakuto. So he can clearly be affected by other people's powers at a much higher degree. Like Zeref had to get Savage Dragonfire that burned out time and infinity to get that power taken away from him. And Zeref, one of his powers I think is super looked over is when he stole Fairy Heart from Mavis, because that means he literally can take powers from people. So he could potentially take the Soul King power from Juha and then just add it onto himself. So he can also stop time, he can also teleport, he can also reverse time, and he is also immune to soul abilities, because we know from Franmoth he can't be affected by soul-based abilities. No known magic within Fairy Tail was able to kill him, or curses. The only thing that was able to take out the curse was the same curse, which is one of the crazy things about the Curse of Ankh Saram. So, like, if you try to, like, argue, like, what could kill Zeref, that, like, other than the curse, it would have to be something that could affect a godly curse, but not something that exists in Fairy Tail. Like, you couldn't have anti-magic because Fairy Tail already has anti-magic with Wave. It's pretty much a magic that cancels other magic. It's literally what anti-magic is. And it doesn't work. You can't have demon particles. That doesn't work. You can't have soul manipulation. That doesn't work. You can't send him to Edelwitz. That doesn't work. He's literally cursed by a god that is above, like, space to attain time, Acnologia, Fairy Heart, Zeref, all these people. It's beyond Juha. Yeah, I already read that. Papa Fushiguro's a problem. Dude, that guy, I gotta upload the video after this, but I love his moveset is awesome. His fighting, like, the way that he fights in general is awesome. His, like, strategic layout, he's like a dude on the hunt. That was so sick. Did you notice, kid, that he's the same thing as Maki, because Maki doesn't have, she doesn't have any cursed energy as well, and she's just a straight physical weapon specialist, and that's exactly what Fushiguro is. And he was a former member of the Zenin clan, just like she is. Well, she's a member, but she wants to take charge, but he is a member who forsaked his name and took his wife's name. What if Asta ate the time rift like Acnologia did? Asta would die. Asta would 100% die. That was a ridiculous thing that Acnologia could do that there's no way anyone in Black Clover could do. Because it has to do specifically with the fact that he's a raw magic dragon slayer who can eat magic, and he literally ate a concept of the universe, which is ridiculous. Because it wasn't like Kronos or Demaria uses a time spawn. It was literally a rip in the universe that was caused by time travel. There's actually a thing in Doctor Who, which is a similar thing. I don't remember what caused it, but you know, there's pretty much like cracks in the universe, and people were getting sucked up into it, and you were literally getting erased by the universe itself, and Acnologia couldn't be taken out by that. Tempesta versus Fuego Leon. Tempesta, because all he has to do is pop, and then demon barrier particles, and he's gonna kill Fuego Leon. Favorite dub voice actor controversies aside. Oh, Dan Green. Dan Green is my favorite. He does Yugi and Atem. Lucy or Noelle as a waifu. Oh, Lucy for sure. Lucy, here's the thing about Lucy. I love Noelle as well. They're both very developed characters, but on top of that, Lucy she's extremely intelligent. She is a professional model. She is an amateur, I'd say more of like, she was a professional model, but she wasn't like long pro. I guess maybe amateur, but she was a successful model. She was a successful author. There was one more I forgot to mention that she also did. Like, oh, and she's a amateur journalist. She's got a lot of skills. I don't know if any of them have any known cooking capabilities, but keep this in mind. This is straight hyper waifu material. Do you remember when Lucy went to Natsu and Happy's house because she wanted to play a prank on them because they're always showing up at her apartment? And she went in and saw how dirty it was, and she just took it upon herself to clean it up. And it was just like, damn, like, that's heavy waifu skills right there. She just, like, showed up and being like, well, I guess I better clean for all of them. And it's just like, goddamn, she cleans apartments and houses too. It's great. Love her. Neoraxion Sace, Midnight versus Dorothy. A little bit hard. I want to go with Midnight because one of the things he gave that was broken is he could turn himself invisible because he can refract light. So he refracted the light around him to make it so no one could see him. And obviously he's got a lot more vicious because he can affect other people's magics. Whereas Dorothy can obviously do her stuff, but he can refract everything that she can do. And we know his counter is straight physical fighters. Like, you could just, go out and punch. You could just go use magic, go out and beat the hell out of him. And then that's how you defeat him. Asta, or Natsu with Mana Zone. Natsu doesn't need Mana Zone. Like, he's already got, like, high levels of AoE. With just, like, heat radiation alone was melting the entire Grand Magic Games arena. What's up, rusty motherfucker? How it be? How you doing, dude? Asta could get let off thanks to the captains. I don't think he will. Because Kira and Augustus are both, or Damnatio and Augustus are both above all of them. I think they could do it, but I don't think they could do it in a short period of time. I think Asta's going to have to leave for at least a little bit. I think he's going to have to lay low. I think he's going to have to go to a different country. Do you think Toko's smarter than Zeref? I don't think she's smarter than Zeref. I think she's less restricted than Zeref. I think that's the thing, because Zeref was extremely intelligent, extremely powerful. He had a huge wide range of magic. He literally had creation. You literally could create life and cause death instantly. The thing, though, is his curse literally made it so he couldn't think properly. Because we know the curse of contradiction, the curse of Ankh-Saram, actually affected his thought process, too. So he literally could not be sane. The White Witch, her only restriction is Toka. Because Toka can just manage at times to kind of, like, make the struggle for control. That's the only thing she has to worry about. Whereas Zareth had a huge problem with his entire mental state. We already saw, like, with Larcade, especially, like, in that, because, like, Larcade, like, once he got on his bad side, when Zareth was already starting to break, he just killed Larcade, and he probably would do that with any other member of the Spring and 12. He did that in with his Empire. Shields up, Cap. What's up, Mike? How's it going? How's it going, dude? How you feeling? I haven't talked to you in a while. I'm gonna miss Akira Ishida's voice as Zareth when the arc is over. Oh, I know, it's gonna be sad. I love Zareth. Chapter 543 hinted at the part of his story, plus flashback to Dragoncry. Yeah, I know. That was the thing that kind of bothered me, because up until then, like, Acta Logan could have literally just been, like, an absurd powerhouse. He didn't have to have, like, a deep backstory, because, like, you can have, like, look at Zero. Zero's backstory wasn't crazy at all. We just knew he loved destruction, and he just wanted to, like, fight and, you know, cause chaos. That could have been Acta Logia, because when you do a character like that, what matters is you just make him like this absurd threat, which Acta Logia was. He was just this absurd powerhouse. But obviously we brought that in, and Mishima had plans for his backstory, so it's been really frustrating that we haven't gotten it. But it looks like we might get it in the anime. I'm not too sure. We're at chapter, I think 534, so we have another 11, and there's like 7 or 8 more episodes, so we should get a somewhat filler. And it's like, what else would it be other than Acta Logia's backstory? But I guess it would be filler because Mishima, you know, wrote it out, so it would be canon. Acta Logia saved Sona back when they became friends. Do you think he could have still have turned evil? I'm curious about, like, what turned him, though, because it entirely depends. We gotta wait until we find out his backstory for that one. Dynamax Pokemon versus AOT. Dynamax? I don't know that Pokemon off the top of my head. Well, Pokemon, I guess, like, because some Pokemon are broken. Do you think Zora will learn Sealing Magic like Nero? No, I don't think so. I am far behind. I'm sorry. I'm one of the cool people in my... Well, the thing is, there's a lot of cool people in the My Hero Academia community. It's the super toxic vocal portions that cause problems. One of my friends actually, I think he made one of the perfect comparisons, because you're talking about, like, how much he hates, like, the My Hero Academia fandom's problem with shipping. He said that shipping for My Hero Academia was like OCs for Sonic, and I nearly died laughing, because it's like, god damn it, that is so absurdly true. I couldn't even fathom that, like, beforehand, but it's like the perfect comparison. Because that's, like, the thing with Sonic fans, it's like they have to have OCs, and, like, with, like, it's not even like bad OC. It's not even just like, oh, I'd love to have my own original character. It's like it becomes like a part of why you like the series, and like it's like the same thing with My Hero Academia. A lot of these people, I feel like they like the ships more than the series itself. By the way, F for Hachimaru's dad. Yeah, F for sure. How strong do you think Nero is compared to the Magic Knights? I don't think she has any offensive abilities. Zonka and Ryu is dangerous to Tenka at times because his sword is also dangerous because it's supposed to represent its hatred towards himself. That's cool. Does it hurt him when he uses it? So what if Wendy wasn't on Tenro Island and trained for 7 years? Do you think she'd be on Irene? Oh, for sure. Of course. She'd be so broken. I wish that Zankro died. I really wish Zankro died and then became, like, the Grimoire Heartmaster and, like, still lived and was the big badass. I miss him. Any advice for making a mascot character? I don't know. Pick something cool. Pick a Komodo dragon would be cool since you're going all dragony. There's a Yu-Gi-Oh monster that's like a little Komodo. I can't remember its name is something like that. It's like a little fire dragon. I think it's like a 1-star. You can go look at it. Oh god, I gotta look. How far back am I? I don't think I'm as far as I think I am. Let's see. How far away am I? Oh god. I don't know if you heard that Gandora is displeased with how far I am behind in the chat. Do you see Guts surviving Attack on Titan? Yes, because he survived that ocean god monster. He would survive. You definitely survived that. Okay, I read this. I think that was a comment I missed. Let's see. All right, here we go. Kid is my marker because he came in pretty late. Yeah, okay, there's the comment about. Okay, I'm catching up. Shinra versus Asta, I given they have the same voice actor. I'm gonna go with Asta because the thing about Shinra right now is he can't control the Adola Link. He can't activate it at will. Rex say that you were Invader Zim, and Dib tells Zim is an alien. You believe him. I mean, if I was in it, like I saw stuff, I believe. But like I feel like if you're in the Invader Zim world, you just automatically become stupid because the people there are all like moronic as hell. It's like the Simpsons world. Like everyone is just stupid by default. I already read the Wendy one, the mascot one. This demon can allow endure time powers and soul-based attacks. That's good. Do you think Orihime from Bleach is useless because she can't? Oh no, because she could fight. The thing about her abilities, her powers are based on like rejecting events, and Tsubaki, as long as she rejects somebody like in an aggressive way, Tsubaki would become more powerful, just like the way that her healing works. But her personality wouldn't let her do that because she's a nice person. She was perfectly fine healing enemies and stuff. She took something that she fundamentally couldn't utilize properly and figured out a way to become a better support. That's one of the things I really like about Orihime. Yeah, I noticed that some people, after someone pointed it out, that's good. Rex, you should cut up your live streams and do Scotty Kilmer car videos. Wait, what? I don't know what that is. You'll have to explain it to me later. You think any demon can kill Zeref, or only demons that were created from the Book of Zeref? Any demon in general, like fiction? I mean, of course, like if you count like all fiction. Stealth Sanji versus Grey Devil Slayer Grey. Oh, Grey would fucking murder him. That's not a fight. Like Sanji's stealth suit is such a stupid thing to have because it's like normally, yeah, cool, he can turn invisible, but like 90% of the characters have observation haki. So why exactly is him turning invisible matter? Because he could just sense him with haki. So what point do you have unless you can only fight scrubs that don't have observation haki? It's silly. What's up, Catherine? How's it going? Oh yeah, you made it. I've been going for almost 2 hours. I think I'll go for. I'm trying to catch up, and then I want to end it. But obviously I always get caught up behind stuff. Persona 5. I don't know anything about Persona 5. Are devil fruits having a relationship with actual demons? It's unknown. I wish Oda would explain it. We're almost 1,000 chapters into One Piece, and there's like no real explanation of how devil fruits work or their origins and stuff. I don't even know if we've ever seen a devil fruit like hanging from a tree, or if they just form out in the world. Shouldn't it be Basby versus Mereoleona? I'm gonna go with Basby. He's got higher range than she does, and he's fought tougher opponents currently. Favorite gear? I like second gear, and I don't like Bound Man. I like Luffy's other forms, but I do like second gear. I think second gear for me or Snake Man. Yeah, Larkade is a good guy. How far am I behind? I don't think I'm that far. Who do you think I had worse, Zeref or Mavis? Oh, Zeref by far. Ichigo versus Mereoleona? Ichigo. Guts versus Akalogi? Akalogi, what do you mean? Do you think Memento Mori would have worked on Zeref? I do not. I think he still would have lived. Who has the best healing power in any anime? I mean, anybody that can like heal from like conceptual destruction, I guess. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head. Natsu versus Naruto. So that fight right now is still up in the air because Naruto's reached his peak. I don't see Naruto getting stronger than where he's at now. Natsu is still going. I feel like Natsu, once he masters Aetherius Dragon Force, I think he's going to be stronger. We haven't even seen his dragon form. We haven't even seen Animus ate the entire Dragon Cry and integrated its power into his, and Natsu with a partial dragon form demolished him. Especially I think one of the things that is like a heavy thing that will determine like their fight is Naruto's form, his power forms. He's literally covering himself with chakra. Natsu's fire burns magic, and energy equalization is a normal thing in cross-verse stuff. You just assume just treat him as the same energy. They're one and the same. So he'd literally be like, Naruto would literally be wearing gasoline. He'd just be drenched in gasoline against someone like Natsu. So he'd just burn him. But obviously Naruto has at the moment, he's way more controlled. He can access higher levels of power than Natsu can. Natsu has hacks on him with his fire. But Naruto has reached his peak where Natsu still has a ways to go. And I still have my theory that Natsu is going to become another dragon god. Natsu versus Yamamoto. I'm going to go with Natsu again. Crystal Tower manga idea slowly coming along. Oh, are you making your own manga? That's cool. You have to post some stuff on Twitter. If I can get good at drawing, I want to try and do my own, but that'll be a thing. Because I'm I'm trying to get a new hobby besides, doing YouTube videos. Like I haven't had any games that I really liked like lately. Like the only game I've been playing a lot like significantly is League of Legends, but I only really like to play it when I play with my brother because that game is super frustrating. But I want to get good at drawing again because I want to be able to draw like characters and stuff that I've had ideas for. I gotta scroll up now because I gotta see some of my comments that I missed. Bleach and Naruto shippers are pretty bad. They're not even close to as bad as like My Hero Academia shippers. They have a problem. Like the thing is, like, I mean, there's still people there were people starting a petition to try and make Red Riot and Bakugo a canon couple. And it's like, why is your concern making two teenage boys gay together? Why is that your concern? Why do you think that needs to happen in the series? You're getting weird. People in the Heart Kingdom do live underground. Oh, I just thought about it. I hope that Heart Kingdom has a Kingdom Hearts reference in there somewhere. I doubt it will, but I'm hoping there's one guy who fights with a key. Please. Please, Tabata. Please. Please do this for me. August versus Yamamoto. August has... I'm going to August. August has so many spells to utilize. Like, even some of the ones that he has, that we know he has, just not even counting ones that, like, he logically should have. He's got the ability, he's got both racers and cobras. He can hear your thoughts and your actions from your heart and your mind. And he's got time perception slowing from racer. Not alone, he's going to be able to know every single attack that he's going to do to such a high degree. It's like, have fun trying to hit him. Hakai on Zeref. I mean, it would probably work on normal Zeref. I don't think it would work on Fairy Heart Zeref. Did you send me a Streamlabs? I have not touched Streamlabs in forever. Are you serious? Let me check. I thought about trying to set it back up. I have not messed with my Streamlabs in so long. Let me pull up Streamlabs. I actually was considering getting it back up this weekend, and I completely forgot about it. Did you really send me something on Streamlabs? I appreciate it if so. I haven't been to my PayPal in forever, too. I appreciate it, though. Thanks, man. How you been doing, man? Oh, actually, I'll talk to you in Discord after this. Oh yeah, August versus Yamo. Wonder what Yami, Noel, Mimosa, and the rest of the Black Bulls' reaction to Asta. I think a couple of them are gonna go with them, but I don't think the whole Black Bulls are gonna go with them. But I feel like some of them are just gonna tag along because it's important. They gotta keep Asta safe. He's a member. Let's see. I already read those. Yeah, I hope your story comes along. I want to try and get decent in art. I don't need to. My expectations, like, I don't want to become. I don't need to become great because, like, a lot of artists, especially a lot of mangaka, their first work especially, like, doesn't turn out great. Like, their art obviously evolves over time. I'm hoping just to be all right. Like, I want to be able to like draw it, and it's not like that deviant art kind of level where it's all flat and like poorly colored. That's what I'm hoping like going for, because obviously I gotta get it down. I thought about trying to do my own style. I'm just gonna try and like learn how to do fairy tales, like art style, and then maybe evolve it into my own variation. Last Sayuki ended. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Wiz versus Alphamon. Oh, Alphamon. Gerard Valkyrie from Bleach versus Base Dragon Acnologia. Acnologia would eat him. Vegito versus Omnimon. I'm going to Omnimon. Who will be the next Fairy Tail Guild member to get pregnant after Levi? Probably Lucy. Because I think either Lucy or Juvia. Just my guess. Asta may not have magic, but he has friends. Of course, his friends are great. Do you think that Asta will prove himself to the House Kira? Again, it's going to be hard, because it's like, how is he going to prove it? I think he's going to have to leave until they can figure out a way to clear him. Maybe, like, memory magic. They have Marks, but Marks is obviously, like, going to be a little bit crazy because he's in a dangerous spot right now. But anyway, yeah, the stream has been going on. It's a little bit over 2 hours. I appreciate everyone for showing up. I'm actually, yeah, I forgot entirely about, like, I wanted to get my Streamlabs set up. Thanks for reminding me, Mike. I'm going to do that after this. I'm going to work on my Streamlabs. Because I missed having it for when people, if they wanted to donate or subscribe during a stream, and it would, pop up, because it's always a nice thing, because it's just like, it gives that extra, like, little thing of like, oh, cool, you just decided to either give a donation or you're now subscribing to the channel, and you get your own, like, mid-stream shout out, which is cool. And then obviously, like, because it adds an extra layer of, like, specialty, because it's like, oh, I just joined. And then, you not only just join, but if it's during a stream, then I can give them a shout out, and it's like, I literally it's just senpai noticing you, I guess, if anyone wanted to ever call them the Rack senpai. Which I guess some people I would be, because the senpai, it's senior in a position, I guess. So I guess like any older or more experienced YouTubers would be like senpai to me, and then any younger and less experienced YouTubers, I would be their senpai. I don't know how it works. I'm not Japanese, so anyway, I appreciate everyone for showing up. Let me come to these last ones. Do you think Wendy has even bigger potential than Natsu? Well, no, not Natsu, because he's the main character. Clear my name, school again for me. I hope you guys have a good time. Yeah, thanks, Rack Senpai. I think Yuno and maybe one other character should go with Asta if he leaves. I think it'll be Yuno, Asta, and Noel for sure, because they're the core three main character. He's the main character, the rival, and his love interest, female lead. And then probably like Yami or maybe Marileona. It's a good questionable. Other than that, though, thanks everyone for showing up, and I hope to see you guys next week. Hopefully, I really appreciate it. Throughout the week, remind me on Streamlabs, or remind me on Twitter. Say, Rex, get your Streamlabs set up. Just randomly post in my videos. Say, Rex, get your Streamlabs set up, because I do want to get that set up. I think I still pay for Streamlabs, so I don't know why I'm not using it for streams. But other than that, yeah, thanks everyone for thank you everyone, and hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend and the rest of your week until next stream.